Mike's ready.
The Raptor was created for a specific shot, a specific distance, and especially comfort. A lot of thought went into the design of the Raptor. We wanted to make a disc comparable to the Zone that just went a little bit further with that consistency. And with the Raptor, I really feel like we accomplished that.
This is the Pro Tour.
Hey, I'm Nate Doss, and I'm playing the Pro Tour.
I'm playing the Pro Tour.
I'm Ricky Wysocki, and I'm playing the Pro Tour.
This is the Pro Tour.
I'm Paul Macbeth, and this is the Pro Tour.
I'm playing the Pro Tour.
I am Kale Aviska.
Dustin Keegan.
I'm Big Germ, and this is the Pro Tour.
Say it better like you, say it more like you.
This is the Pro Tour.
I'm Sarah Holcomb, and I'm playing the Pro Tour.
I'm Eric McCabe, and I'm playing the Pro Tour.
I am the Pro Tour.
I'm Will Schusterich, and this is the Pro Tour.
How's that cheese? Oh, this is gonna be good.
Good morning, everybody out there, and welcome to Championship Sunday here at Discraft's Green Mountain Championship, presented by Grip Equipment. We have the FPO all lined up. They're just getting ready here on the first tee. And Val, who do we have today? It's a similar card to yesterday, obviously, but who do we got? What do we got? What's going on?
Well, we followed the action yesterday pretty closely, seeing what was going to happen, seeing if Sarah Holcomb was going to teeter-totter, but she maintained that lead. She's 6 strokes ahead of the field. We have Kristen Tatar, 6 strokes back in second place, and we have Rebecca Cox and Haley King following up. It's going to be a battle to see who's getting second place at this point. Really, it's Sarah's tournament to lose. She needs to maintain that lead. And she's been playing just so solid compared to everybody else.
Yeah, and even Kristen Tatar's got 5 strokes on third, so it might be a battle for third. Who knows? And, of course, you got Paige Pierce looming back there who could jump into fourth, third, second, and possibly first. But we got our ladies on the tee. They're getting called out, so let's head right out to that first tee.
Welcome everyone back to the 4th and final round of competition here at Discraft's Green Mountain Championship for 2019. Beautiful morning for golf. We'll be contesting today on the par 63 Fox Run Meadows course. This is our 9 a.m. start card, our lead card in the FPO division. First on the tee, from Caldwell, Idaho, our current leader, sporting a 6-stroke lead. Let's hear it for Sarah Holcomb.
I think the big thing to note is look at the bushes there on the right, just straight over Sarah's head, getting blown around. It's breezy, it's blustery. Now these players have been playing in wind for 2 straight now, so should be fairly comfortable in these conditions at this point.
So this first hole, it's 600 feet. It's a par 4. Players are just looking to land themselves inbounds off the tee.
Next on the tee, from Parnu, Estonia, Kristen Tatar.
And you can see those flanners just blowing. There's a straight headwind on this hole. So it is more important than ever to get across, to make sure you have enough distance.
Kristen did this the other day, and she's going to go out of bounds. She was very close a lot there on our second round here.
Good looking shot.
Hey, Madison.
And completing our foursome from West Bend, Wisconsin, Haley King.
We saw Haley playing yesterday in the woods. She had a rough round yesterday. Oh, and starting off with an out of bounds stroke.
I believe she is going to go to the drop zone, Val, as all OB shots are going to head to that drop zone. And we're going to see Madison Walker step on in here, and we're going to get a on-course check-in from Madison here on this first tee. And we're just going to get Madison lined up. We'll come back to the boost. Not a great start for Haley King, obviously. But again, welcome everybody to this final round, this championship round. And Sarah Hokum's just put on such a clinic here. She's been so prepared and so confident. And really, it's got to be frustrating for the other players.
Yeah, when you're trying so hard to catch up to the lead and you're just making mistake after mistake, it's really, really frustrating for sure. We're going to head over to Madison right now on hole one.
Good morning, everybody. The FPO lead car just teed off here at Brewster Ridge. We're getting started bright and early, even after we all might have had a little bit too much fun at the Fall Fest last night. It's a much sunnier, nicer day. There's still a little bit of wind to contend with, but we're happy there's no rain, there's no clouds in the sky, and we get to watch the ladies play all day long out on Fox Run. I'm excited about it. I hope you guys are too. Thanks for tuning in so bright and early with the ladies, and we'll shoot it back to the action.
Thanks, Mads. Yeah, probably a lot of fun happening last night at the Fall Fest. So, the Fall Fest at Smuggler's Notch happens right in the community village. It's all of the condos there, and there's music all night long, food, some beverages, of course, and provided by Fiddlehead Brewing Company. They've been a longtime sponsor here of the championship, the Green Mountain Championship. And big hello to the boys at Fiddlehead. So yeah, not a great start for Haley King, as she just didn't even get it up enough to get inbounds, but she is here at the drop zone throwing her third shot.
Oh, and that was getting close to the out of bounds there on the left-hand side, but lands safely in bounds. Now we see Kristen Tatar. She did cross over the inbounds, so she's going to take it last place. She was in bounds on that left-hand side.
Yeah, I guess, Val, it is important to reiterate the fact that Haley moved to the drop zone because she never did cross inbounds.
Yeah.
And Kristen Tatar did, so she will play it from her last inbounds position.
Now, Rebecca's in a very nice spot. She's middle of the fairway, but she's going to have some work to do on this upshot. It's going to take another drive. She's still about 300 feet from the basket. OB surrounding the entire way, left, right, and beyond. She's going to have to work a slight Anheuser angle and work her way through those trees.
Yeah, and it can be difficult going uphill to the right with that Anheuser. If it fades at all, it heads towards the OB on the left. And that's that fade she's got to be careful of. And there you go. That's that OB on the left. If you don't put enough turn on it, it's going to go OB. And she has gone OB. And that just goes to show you this course. You put yourself, if you put yourself in position off the tee well in Brewster, you're probably going to do pretty well. But here, even if you're off the tee well, there's still OB looming on most of the rest of the hole. And coming on air this morning with Hokum having a 6-stroke lead, there was, in my opinion, there's still no guarantees here. Now, as I mentioned, it's got to be frustrating for the competitors because Hokum's just been so solid, keeping it in bounds and playing smart. But Kristen Tatar's got some good juju coming off of last weekend. She was able to take down Paige Pierce, a 5-time world champ. There's some good positive energy there. Kristen doesn't have to worry too much about the people behind her. She's 5 strokes ahead of them. I really felt like Kristen had the green light here to just let loose and play free. And she's gone OB on this first hole, and that's going to leave her about 80 feet short of the basket. So not a great start for Kristen either. And Hokum still yet to throw her second shot.
And Kristen's game has really looked so solid as well. All parts of her game just look very pure, refined as she's been traveling around the U.S. and playing tournaments every weekend. There's just been a few mistakes here and there, and some of them, double bogeys. We're seeing multiple bogeys, and that's really all the difference. She's making these errors while Sarah Hokum's just playing very consistent.
It's a key shot for Sarah. She's missed that middle tree. She's got it up and out there and out nice and safe for her. It's going to be just probably a chip at this point for a drop-in par. The thing about it, too, is that I was also thinking as we came on air that Sarah Hokum's in a great position for another reason, in the sense that at this point, she doesn't have to play safe. She's just playing her game. So no change up in the preparation, no change up in the game plan. And so I think that's a huge advantage. And it looks as if Haley's gone OB to the right there. And just such a difficult start for Haley King. Going to be difficult for Haley to recover from this.
And it's so frustrating to see. She's right there. She is on the lead card. She was just 1 stroke behind Rebecca to start the round. So much could happen. And all of a sudden, on the first hole, things start to unravel. Hopefully, she's able to keep it together, learn from these experiences, and just keep chugging along. It's the game of disc golf. You never know what's going to happen. But take a look at how close this is.
It looks in bounds to me. I don't think there's any doubt that it looks in bounds.
Can I just pick it up?
We'll see.
I think it's in.
Yeah.
What kind of disc is that? Is that a big Z Luna, perhaps?
It looks like it. So Haley's going to avoid just adding another stroke to what's already been a difficult first hole. Sort of fortunate for her. I mean, she was already OB and throwing her 5th, or now she's throwing her, I think 6th shot. Goes for that huge jump putt look. And she'll have that putt right there.
And Haley is very young. I believe Haley's 18, 17, around there. So she's just new on the scene. It's great to see her playing in these big tournaments. We've seen her at more and more Disc Golf Pro Tour events. We saw her at Worlds last year. So she's been able to get out. And the more chances she's able to do this and be on the lead card, she's just going to continue to learn, and her game's going to just hone in that much more. She's got it all there. It's just a matter of piecing it together.
Just a chip there for Cox, and it's going to be a long pitch for Kristen. And I think it'll be the same for Holcomb, and then that'll just leave Haley King with a long look. That'll be Haley's putt for a 6.
It's like one last tree that Holcomb has to get around. And that'll work. That'll be just fine.
You know, and for all of our fans at home, we got to remember when we came on air just 2 days ago, right, at this same group on this same hole, there was a medical emergency with Sarah's caddy and partner. And, you know, Sarah has had some incredible resilience from that. But also we hope that Robin's doing well. And hopefully he is. I mean, it seems as if Sarah's in good spirits. So I'm imagining he is. And if he's watching right now, hopefully you're doing well, buddy, and get well soon. Sarah's doing just fine, and she's taking it down for you at this point, my friend.
And it's Sarah for her par. Solid start on this hole. 3 down is where Sarah's score is. It's amazing to see rounds being shot under par on these very technical and challenging courses. I hope she maintains that and continues that under par score. If she does that, she is absolutely going to win this tournament. We're going to head over to hole 2. Yeah, let's head over to the hole 2 preview.
Yeah, we'll play 2 after 1.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if everybody was done. I didn't want to be too quick. We got a par 3, 270 feet. Starts off, I mean, you just got to shoot it up the gut. It's a straight shot with a mid-range. I'm not assuming anybody's going to be throwing a putter, but a mid-range is a perfect shot. Elevated basket. The green slightly sloping from left to right, which could pull players out of bounds, as you can see that line, the tall grass behind the basket. But really, you see people getting into trouble when they're not hitting that exact line off the tee. You got to hit a perfect height. You can't go too low. There are some bushes that you have to throw over, but it's all about just hitting that line and not getting into trouble on the left or right-hand side. This one, the birdie opportunity is right there in front of you, but we see a lot of people making weird mistakes on this one. And Sarah's choosing the standstill.
Yeah, just think right off of the first hole, Val, Sarah just played her game, and she gained strokes on all of her competitors. Oh, and Sarah's got it up over the rock. Inbounds, uphill putt for birdie. So nice shot there by Holcomb.
It's so true. With a par, you're gaining strokes on the field.
Yeah.
And the more and more she can do that throughout the round, I mean, it's just forcing the players possibly to do something out of their comfort zone. They're going to continue to try and force shots. And that's when errors happen. And that's when errors continue to happen. So Sarah's got her game plan and she's sticking to it. And it makes it pretty easy when you're going for par. Let the birdies happen when they do.
Oh, look at this shot. She's going to have a downhill birdie putt from there. A little bit more carry forward would have had her probably just sitting right up next to the pin. with that triple or double bogey from Haley, it's going to move Paige Pierce into the 4th place position.
There's a beautiful shot. We've got all 4 players off the tee. We're going to throw it to commercial. We'll catch back up with Kristen Tatar's shot.
Today, we'll be talking about the Nuke. The Nuke is a wide-rimmed, fast, maximum distance driver. When throwing on a wide-open course with the Nuke, I'm using it to unleash maximum backhand distance potential. Due to its slim profile and wide rim, the Nuke also fits really well in the hand when throwing sidearms. If I'm looking to throw down some boom sauce, I'm going with the Nuke. You can pick one up at discraft.com or your local disc golf retailer.
And thank you to Grip Equipment for being the presenting sponsor of the tournament this weekend and of the Disc Golf Pro Tour. We did see Kristen's shot come in just a little long on the basket. She's about 15 feet. And any putt that's not a drop it on these elevated baskets can't be counted up just yet. And here's the thing, Sarah does have a putt, but it's not a bad thing if she doesn't make it.
Right. Yeah. I mean, what a great position to be in.
It is.
To not have to make it. Now, if she does, it's a huge statement, and boom, she moves into 8 strokes in the lead, and, it's all good. Oh, and what a great run she did give it. But as you said, this isn't a big deal. At this point, we have to reiterate the fact that every stroke is important. And we saw Macbeth take a triple bogey on the last hole just 2 days ago here on the 18th on this course. And, so with that said, a couple of those, and all of a sudden, bang, 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 Tatar's in the game. But, Sarah's been so steady, it doesn't seem as if that's a big possibility.
But we did see the way she finished in the second round. She did have some trouble. A lot of those within the last 5 holes, there are a couple that are just backhand dominant holes, right, where Sarah is choosing to lay up and choosing for the very, very safe drive and then putting all the pressure on her up shots, relying on getting that par, not even pushing it. So things like that could make a shift toward the end of the round. So you're right.
Yeah, no doubt. So there we are. Kristen Tatar has tapped in her par putt. Everybody at home, remember that was for par. Haley able to pick up the birdie after a tough first hole. So that's a nice recovery there for Haley as she's able to move now back into a tie for 4th with Paige Pierce. And Sarah able to drop in her par, staying at 3 under. Let's check out hole number 3, Val.
Hole 3, 285 feet. We see an OB line with those stakes on the right-hand side, and we're working our way uphill. It's a basically straight shot. You've got these trees that kind of bottleneck in toward the green, so you've got to hit that line. Otherwise, those trees will be bouncing you maybe out of bounds, but definitely short if you hit those. You can make it past those trees. The green is pretty fast. You can see it's a little beaten down from just the wear and tear. It can be very fast. So even if you do land your drive short, you have to be cautious of those up shots. landing them nice and safe and soft next to the basket. This is a tough one. It's not often you see somebody parking this hole. It's under 300 feet by distance, but playing uphill, it's playing more like 330. Just with that very accurate straight drive, it's pretty difficult to get it all the way up there.
Yeah, and it's completely blind. It's a tight gap up through the middle there. So yeah, nothing easy about this one. Now, probably course difficulty wise, because of the course we're playing on, this is going to be near the bottom, but still a hole that you can birdie and that you'd like to birdie. And yeah, that's going to be a tough little putt there. There's a couple tree clumps in her way. Here's Haley King after the birdie. And it just has to absolutely shatter your confidence when you start off like that on hole one. But again, for a young player like Haley King, this is all good experience. You know, to play under these conditions is really, really good. So they're going up the gap and able to get it up to the top of the ridge line. A sort of a scary place to putt from. We saw Zach Melton in the second round 3 or 4 putt from there, actually, to go from birdie to double bogey as he went past and went OB. So still some danger. And Kristen's going to hit that tree, and it's not going to be a very long walk for her. We're going to take a short break, maybe picture in picture that. We'll be back here in just a second.
Okay, huge news, guys. The new DGA Rift has so much glide that it just broke the national MTA record by 37 hours. Go get one for yourself at discgolf.com.
Zuca is now producing limited edition color choices. Zuca can add custom embroidery to the front and/or sides of the bag.
Back perfectly in time. Kristen was forced to use a sidearm there. I think she got caught up in the trees.
And here we go, just like that. Kristen Tatar is kind of opening the window for these players to scoot on in and kind of close that gap. We do know that it is a 5-stroke difference between Rebecca and Sarah, and Haley is just 6 strokes behind Kristen. So things can start to happen. We know Haley's having a little bit of trouble. We see she's added a couple of strokes to her card, but everybody's having issues besides Sarah Holcomb.
Yeah, we got it. Thank you.
Looks like we got an eye on Kristen's disc. With a lot of trees just kind of sprinkled about this fairway, you can come and find some trouble. And we see Kristen's now going to be throwing her 3rd shot with still about 150 feet to the basket. And again, fast green, so she needs to be careful of how she's landing this upshot. That was about perfect.
Yeah, she's landed it pretty well. But unfortunately, that's going to be a bogey for her. So it's going to be 2 bogeys in the first 3 holes. Hole 2, she had to lay up for her par. So really, Kristen Tatar's not playing well to this point. If I was a betting man, which I'm not, by the way, I would anticipate just a pitch here from Holcomb. Absolutely no reason to put any of this in danger.
Nice upshot.
Cha-ching. Virtual money.
But even so, I mean, she could still lay it a little bit closer, I feel like. It's still just a little bit of a tester.
Yeah, she did that on the first hole as well, you know, from that little pitch she had to make on 1. So, you know, keeping the putter warmed up, hopefully.
Yeah, that could be a part of the strategy, huh?
Yeah, hey, I'm going to make mediocre upshots. But no, in all seriousness, though, she has been putting well throughout this entire event, and I think that is also one of the primers for her lead. She missed a putt on hole 1 yesterday, and then proceeded to not miss a putt for the rest of the entire round. So impressive stuff.
It was a pretty tight line for Haley's putt there. Did give it a run. Thankfully, didn't get much of a scoot or a roll or too bad of a kick of that tree, because there is out of bounds at the very bottom of that hill in that ravine. So here's the view for Rebecca Cox for her birdie putt. And this could be a 2-stroke swing if Rebecca's able to capitalize on this birdie.
Yeah, tough putt for what Rebecca has. You know, her putting style. She puts it on the right side of the pin and just kind of goes straight to a little bit of hyzer, and that tree right in the way. So she had to go left and low, and yeah, that's all right.
Rebecca will still gain a stroke on Kristen for this hole, tightening that gap to 4 strokes.
Mm-hmm. Sarah able to tap it in. That'll be
3.
3. Yep. 3 for Tatar over Cox. And oh boy, now it's rolling. This needs to just sit down. Sit down. That's going to go OB for Haley King. And now she's going to have to make her mark coming back inbounds.
Yeah, but you been out of bounds? So you can just re-putt with the same penalty.
Yeah, they're just talking about the rule here, folks, that she's going to take advantage of is because she went OB, she's allowed to putt again from her previous location. So she did take a penalty stroke there, and then that stroke as well. So she was putting for 3, missed that. Instead of throwing 4, she's throwing 5. So goes from a par to a double bogey in just a matter of 60 or 30 seconds even. Wow, and Rebecca barely gets that one up and in. And now we're going to see Kristen. Now, we're going to take really just a look at a couple of interviews while our players have this long walk to the 4th tee. So let's pull up the interview with Haley King.
Good morning, everybody. I'm out here with the FPO lead card. We're going to catch up with Haley King right before she tees off and see how she feels. How you feeling, Haley?
I'm feeling really good. My putts are on. I love Fox, so I think it's going to be good. It's a little windy, but I have forces, so it should be no problem.
So you're going to throw over stable disc and keep it in bounds?
Yep, that's a plan.
Anything, are you feeling kind of nervous after going from Brewster? I know you play really strong at Brewster every time.
No, I'm not really nervous at all. Fox is my favorite out of these two, so I'm just way more confident on that course.
I feel like that's a rare thing, but I'm happy to hear it, and we can't wait to watch you. We're out here with Rebecca Cox as well just before her tee time. What's your game plan going into today?
Well, I'd like to play the wind a little bit better than I did a couple days ago. I'd like to correct some mistakes that I made and just stay as clean as possible.
Yeah, I know you also like Brewster Ridge better than Fox Run. You like the more technical shots. You like to not have OB lining every fairway. But you're just going to take some off and play in the middle, play safe?
Yeah, pretty much. Just I know Brewster is my strong game and Fox is kind of my weakness, so I'm going to just stick to my guns and do as clean as I can today.
So do you have the mentality of if you're behind a little bit that you're going to ever like maybe play aggressive mid-round, or are you just going to stick to your plan all day?
I think I'm going to stick to my plan, but if it comes to a moment where I change my mind, it might come down to that. But for the most part, stick to the plan.
I like it. A field player, my kind of girl. Well, Rebecca, good luck out there today. I'll be walking around, and I'm sure the viewers can't wait to watch you play either.
Thank you so much.
We're out here with the FPO lead card just minutes before they tee off. We're catching up with Kristen Tatar, and we want to know, how do you feel about going into today's round at Fox Run?
I feel good. The weather is looking great, and I'm really looking forward to the round.
I know you like Brewster Ridge better than Fox Run. You like those more technical lines. What's your game plan today?
I just try to keep it in bounds and just avoid doing like big mistakes, and that's pretty much the plan. Just take birdies when I can and not go too aggressive.
That's a similar plan to Sarah Hokum, it sounds like, and she's doing pretty well this week. You excited to play with her for a third round in a row?
Yes, it's very exciting to play with her. She is so good, and she, like, in Brewster Ridge, she hit all her lines, and it was just incredible to see. Yeah.
Well, we're excited to watch you too, Kristen, and good luck out there today.
Thank you so much.
All right, I'm here. I'm back. Good morning, everybody. I'm out here with your current tournament leader, Sarah Hokum, and we wanted to catch up with her and see what her game plan is today. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good. My game so far, warming up, feels normal. I'm just getting warmed up and getting ready for the day of battling.
Lots of battles with a 5-stroke lead. I mean, you just want to keep it slow and steady right in the middle?
Well, that's 6. Mad Dog.
Oh my gosh, I should know this.
But yeah, I play a pretty conservative game plan out there. I'm going to keep it in the lines, and I don't think I could go more conservative than I already do. So I'm just going to play my game, and hopefully it works out for me in the end.
Yeah, I know Fox Run's very different from Brewster Ridge. Is it a lot going back and forth between these two courses, or do you like the back and forth?
I like the variety. Yep, definitely.
Cool. Well, we're excited to watch Hokum as she leads the field, and hopefully everything goes well today. Good luck.
Thank you so much.
And back to the action. God.
Here we are, Val. Let's take a look at hole 4.
Hole 4, par 4, 465 feet. Now, this is showing us the route up on the left-hand side of the fairway, but we're going to see players throwing off to the right, and there is a large landing zone. We'll pull up the map in just a minute, but landing zone there, then you have to shoot over into this next landing zone, crossing over another little out of bounds river and landing up near the basket. So it's a 2-shot type of hole. And we can see on the right-hand side that landing zone area. That's best for the backhand throwers. You're going to throw something up and over that tall, bushy, out of bounds and land in that landing zone, giving you a nice shot to the basket. What did Sarah Hokum throw on this in that second round?
Yeah, I believe Sarah was the only player to go on the left side there. So that the main part of the fairway, I guess, not that island. So she was choosing to just sort of, again, play safe. Now, and by the way, big thanks to Madison as well as all of our competitors for taking the time to kind of give us a little bit of feedback as how they're feeling going into today. Really great. But you can hear Sarah say, I don't think I could play any safer than I already am. And so I don't think she's going to risk anything here. But I think she did play it safe in that first round.
And the majority of this group, they all like Brewster better. They all enjoy playing in the tight woods. And really, the consistent story there, keeping it in bounds. That's the game plan out here at Fox Run Meadows. As you can see, there's a lot of out of bounds on this hole. So, yep, we see Sarah lining up on the left-hand side. It's a pretty narrow landing strip.
Oh, and Sarah's going to go ahead and take the a different approach from the other day. And
Psych.
I think actually smart though.
Yes.
For especially sidearm, and now she has a great sidearm angle into the green. So I think probably a smart play.
Yeah, it's a great play. It's very hard to land it in that landing strip.
Now, I've got to say, we've heard some interviews with Kristen over these last couple of weeks here on the Disc Golf Pro Tour. She just has such a wonderful personality, and she's just excited about playing with really all of the players and being here in the U.S., North America, to be specific, because she did play in Canada last weekend, and playing with all these players. And yeah, so
you can tell she's so young in the sport and excited to play with these names. So we will see how these players end up. They're all in bounds. We're going to take a quick break. We'll see you in a minute.
We are back here on the fairway of hole 4. All 4 of our players landing in bounds. And yeah, so one thing that maybe we'll ask Madison to see what's written on Sarah's hand today, but also to hear Sarah say like the fact that warming up, everything feels normal. I don't feel any tension or anything like that. So I think that tells us everything we need to know. You also mentioned the whole idea that they all like Brewster. Ooh, and that's going to have enough height. That is really actually unlucky from a really good shot. Hit the top of the rock and skip, but you can see the putt she has left. We were mentioning all the players saying that they like Brewster better, besides Paige Pierce. Paige Pierce said, "Yeah, I really like Fox because I get to gain the distance, even if I go out of bounds." So it kind of shows you her mentality. I think, and this is just a little bit of, me maybe just putting the words into other players' mouths, but it's nice when you birdie. It's nice to play courses you can get some birdies on. And I think at Brewster, they had a lot more opportunities to get birdies. And so that's always a lot more fun as well.
Yes, there's a lot more par 4s out here, but they're very tough to birdie, these par 4s. There's even a par 5 that we're going to see in just a few holes. And even that one, that's very tough to birdie.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're playing these holes, getting a par out here is good. It can seem very boring, especially when the wind picks up. It's going to be really hard for these players to score. Just making sure you're landing in bounds, and that's just the name of the game out here at Fox Run.
It absolutely is.
And there's Kristen's upshot, hitting the rocks. The only player right now in that little bit of a rock island.
Right. Boy, and Haley King just blasted her drive up there. She's at the front end of the island.
Get down.
So look at that. All 4 players are going to have birdie opportunities here. So speaking of making birdies, there's going to be a bunch of opportunities here. I'm going to give Kristen hers. I probably should give Sarah hers. So we got two bigger putts coming from Cox and King. So nice play here on hole 4 by our lead card.
And already it's still pretty early in the round, but we can already see Paige Pierce is making a move. She's shooting 2 under right now for the round. She's moved herself up above Haley King in that 4th place position. Paige is sitting at +9. Haley, as you can see at the bottom of the screen, she's at 12 over.
Yeah, Haley's just had such a brutal start.
And really, it seems like possibly that could be the only move. Kona Starpanis at +20.
Yeah,
so
another
she's
8.
trailing behind Haley. Yep, 8 strokes behind Haley. So let's hope Haley doesn't fall beyond that line, but it could be that battle back and forth between herself and Paige. Rebecca Cox is holding strong right now. She's at even for the round. 1 stroke above Paige at this point.
Let's call it 1 under for the round now. Nice putt there by Rebecca.
Beautiful. And those are the putts you need to make. Those are those confidence builders. The more you can make those, the more confident you can be to attack putts and strike on those opportunities when they're given to you.
Absolutely. Haley just it's just not on point for her this morning. Still some holes to make it up. I think there's still a whole heck of a lot to play for here today. And again, as I always say with younger players, I mean, I was in this position for years and years. The more opportunities that you get to play in these types of scenarios, you just build your bank of knowledge. And so it's a good thing for Haley to be playing in here, even if it's not the best day.
Yeah, disc golf allows you to learn, but it's tough love.
Right.
It hurts.
Some Estonian balance for you.
On Estonia.
On Estonia. Oh, nice. There you go, Val. And that's hole 4 in the books. Well played by our lead card. Let's take a look at hole 5.
Hole 5. This is such a beautiful hole. Par 3, 445 feet. You see the OB line on the right-hand side. There's another one on the left-hand side. We're working our way downhill. We're going to see players landing in a little bit of a valley as it dips down. We're going to see players filter to that area. You need to land inbounds off the drive. Then it's going to be a nice little upshot to the basket. Sloping green here. The basket's right on that crux as it slopes off to the right-hand side. You see the water pretty close on the left-hand side. So any lofty upshots that don't have enough straight or forward momentum could sail into that water, and you're losing your favorite upshot disc.
Absolutely. And there's the course map. We see the basket down there right next to the pond. We did not see any of our players in the second round go for this green. It was more just positioning. Of course, we know Paige Pierce goes for it, but we haven't seen her play. Which is sort of rare these days to not have a Paige Pierce in one of these featured cards. That just goes to show you that how well these other players have been playing.
Yeah, and in the end, it came down to Brewster. I mean, Paige didn't play great on that course for the 2 rounds that they played. These ladies played incredible on that course. And as you can see, it was their favorite course of the 2. And really, you can find yourself getting in all sorts of trouble if you're not hitting your line at Brewster. That is where the strokes are made. See, by Rebecca's hair blowing a little bit of a headwind. Oh, I thought it was coming in. It's She's going to have the trees to contend with there, but hopefully if she's on the right-hand side, it'll be a more open up shot. For me, personally, I like to land a little bit more to the left. There's a better gap through the trees. We've got Sarah Hokum throwing the sidearm, so throwing an opposite shot.
Oh boy, and that's going to be the first mistake for Hokum as she just completely snapped it over. I'm actually a little bit surprised with that. I would think you just take the hyzer, don't put any turn on it at all. But there's the first mistake for Sarah Hokum as she's gone out of bounds way back too. So it's going to be a difficult upshot, going to be a difficult bogey save. And let's see what Kristen decides to do here. She's got it on a beautiful hyzer line, keeping a great eye on it. Look, a nice shot too. Yeah.
Beautiful drive.
Down in the low there. She's going to have an uphill birdie putt.
Yes, she is.
While Hokum's back there, going to be thinking about saving her bogey and bringing double bogey into play. And from the angle Hokum's throwing from, sidearm is tough.
And here we go. We don't want to see a player's fault, but this is a little bit of action. This is the kind of thing we want to be talking about. There's Haley with another out of bounds. We're going to throw it to commercial, and the action is just getting started, so come on back.
Yeah, we're going to go actually to Madison Walker. Madison always sneaks in on us, so take it away, Madison.
So we watched a few of the lead card ladies struggle a little bit in the first holes. Just listening to Kristen and Silver talk, apparently in Estonia, whenever they're playing events back home, they have the Masters and the juniors tee off before the women. So Kristen's not used to playing this early in the morning. A little bit of a different headspace right when you get out of bed, having to come out here and focus, which is a little bit of interesting insight since we are in the United States are all pretty used to teeing off bright and early in the morning. Another little fun fact from hole 3 when Haley had that unfortunate rollaway. It's really nice because we're seeing the lead card ladies out here being really supportive of each other. She walked down to grab her disc after it rolled out of bounds, and Hokum reminded her to go back to her previous lie and putt from there with the out of bounds stroke. So it's nice to see the ladies really rooting for each other and hoping each other do well, helping each other do well out here to the best of their abilities. We'll throw it back to the action.
Thank you, Madison. Yeah, we actually heard that Kristen's not used to playing so early in Estonia back at the MVP Open, as Terry kind of mentioned that fact. Of course, there's not as many players in Estonia, and so they're always playing mixed tournaments. I would say similar to like a B tier here in the U.S. So she comes over here, only plays the big events, and so she's playing early in the morning. Although she's been here for a month, so she'll be used to it. More than a month.
We're playing early in the morning for the women so that we're able to cover them here on live coverage. And Hokum's disc just hanging on there. Oh, I'm sure her stomach was in her throat. A little bit of nausea as that disc was kind of wobbling in flight toward the water.
That scared the heck out of me, yeah. Ugh. Man. Either way, she's in bounds now, but tough putt too.
This is a tough putt. There's this dramatic slope just beyond the basket. We can see the flag is blowing a little bit, a little wind. Think about. So this is not a gimme putt by any means.
not at all. Also, because Hokum does a straddle, basically, she's going to have her feet sort of sloping back away from her, and then a basket sloping away from her the other direction. So it's just overall just kind of a tough look. Ooh. There we are. Rebecca able to get it up on the flat. Right. Your statement from before, I would say really we in the booth, certainly, we're ex-players, so we would never do this, but we never wish ill will or want anybody to play bad. In fact, we want everybody to play good.
But we want to play better.
It does give us a something to talk about. You know, I mean,
Yes.
it was just a missed shot by Sarah. I mean, she threw a turnover when it doesn't even call for a turnover. So, you know, if Kristen's able to somehow get this birdie into the basket, then there's really something to talk about, because that puts a lot of pressure on Holcomb's putt. And then we're just kind of back where we started at that point. But still, yeah, kind of interesting.
Very interesting. And it's still 8 strokes. That's a lot of strokes. But if you can chomp off 2, that means you can continue to do that throughout the round. We're only on hole 5. So much can happen. And even just that little bit of doubt can even kind of make Holcomb feel a little bit uneasy. So we don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, so a little bit of chess play there. Kristen just laying it up. She looked about, by the flight of the disc, maybe 50 feet away. So not really willing to take that risk, especially with Holcomb already in a position to, you know, make this putt or miss this putt, take a bogey at least. So she's going to gain a stroke no matter what. Also, another thing to mention from what we got from Madison, the fact that Sarah, who's a veteran, right? She's a veteran, pretty much been playing the longest on tour of all of our players out here. To mention that rule to Haley means a whole heck of a lot. To use that veteran prowess and pass it along to our young players is so important. So, big ups to Sarah. Oh. And there we go. Now there's more to talk about. Hits the front of the basket. Now rolls, is going to have the uphill. Now double bogey putt at this point. So Sarah's mental game is going to be put to the test at this point. So tough to still be out. Worst 3 words. There's a lot of bad words in disc golf, but you're still out is the one that we all fear the most. Maybe your OB. It's a bad one too.
DFL.
But good 3 words in the basket, and that's what that putt is for Sarah Holcomb, able to, again, take her time, go through her routine, and make that double bogey putt. Again, it's going to be a double bogey, so she's going to move to 2 under par for the tournament, but could have been at least 1 stroke worse, and now we're going to see Haley King. This is for bogey, as she did go OB off of the tee. And able to cash that putt. I do like her putt a lot. Again, only time will tell on Haley, but I like that putt. It's got a good punch to it.
Yeah, great reach back and that clean follow through. Great extension. And there's a par putt from Rebecca. And just a tap in par for Kristen. She played that so nicely. I mean, that's the most ideal spot to land on your drive. Just making a little chip up shot. We're on to hole 6, par 3, 290 feet. Relatively short hole, but when the wind picks up, can make it very difficult. For a sidearm player, this just sets up absolutely perfectly. For a backhand thrower, this is a mid-range shot. You got to have enough height on it, and you really have to nail that angle. A little bit too much could send that disc rolling, send it out of bounds on the left-hand side. A little too not enough could send it sailing and hyzering out left as well. You can see how much out of bounds is just circling the entire basket. But I think really it's not the distance here, it's that elevation up into the green, and especially with that wind, you're sending your disc up and allowing the wind to affect it a lot. So sidearm player definitely has an advantage.
Yes, correct. Thank you, Val. Look at that. 27% birdies, 9th most difficult hole on the course. Distance-wise, it's not hard. There's just a lot of OB. And let's just break down the scores here a little bit for you. And Sarah Holcomb is now back to 2 under par. She's 1 over for the round after that double bogey. Kristen Tatar's 1 over for the round as well. So where does that put us? It puts us in the exact same position as we started. Holcomb with 6 strokes. But now there's a little bit of chink in the armor, right? So it's not the same as when we teed off because now there's been a double bogey. A few mistakes have happened. Tatar has gotten that birdie 2 holes ago. So, oh, nice tree, keeping her in bounds. And she'll know that it is in bounds by the crowd giving her some appreciation.
VG Academy. I'd like to sign up for registration. I wonder if it's already closed.
Yeah.
I'm just hearing in my ear that
Yeah.
Kristen and Silver do lessons. So they're part of the Disc Golf Academy, teaching people how to play. And it looks like just barely in bounds there. That's a little bit too much of that angle. Maybe not in bounds?
Yeah,
We'll have to find out.
I could not tell. It looked like it cut rolled. And I think there's nothing to stop it there. So we'll see. I didn't see the crowd clapping. And there's a beautiful shot by Haley. She got the height on that. And this is the last birdie opportunity, really, as 7, 8, and 9 are all super difficult holes. So this is the last really gettable birdie. Of course, all of our players can birdie any holes. Part of the game. Sarah, ooh, hit that tree. And we don't see any reaction. We will find out here in just a second. We'll be back with you in 45.
Can I list off every DGA disc in just 10 seconds? Well, yeah, of course I can. I can talk fast. I'm good at planning ahead. You're running out of time. Okay, well, that's not helping. All right, number 1.
Here we have Sarah Holcomb, right side of the fairway after going out of bounds. You see her laying up there. Another out of bounds stroke from Sarah, just allowing field to catch up a little bit. It'll be interesting to see where Kristen's shot did end up. She doesn't look too worried.
Oh, it's
there
in bounds.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Taking her stance there.
That's
It's going to be a pitch up.
That's super fortunate for Kristen because it was on a cut roll. There's nothing to stop it there. So very fortunate for Kristen. She's going to gain yet another stroke, so it'll go from 6 to 5. But the thing that is the most worrisome, again, is all about momentum, right? So Holcomb's gone out of bounds twice in a row, and so we'll see how the momentum shifts here as we're going to come into what, in my opinion, is the most difficult stretch of the entire course. Although 7 lays out very well for Holcomb because of the sidearm.
Very nice. And
Yeah.
speaking of momentum, Rebecca Cox is shooting really well right now.
Heck yeah.
Carding up another birdie on her scorecard, tightening that gap between her and Kristen.
2 under par for Rebecca Cox. That's awesome. And Haley unable to get that up and in. See, just a little bit of dejection on her face.
Sarah still a little bit of a tester putt here. And, she's going to take her time, get that focus in. Put it right into the chains. That's going to be a bogey for Sarah. Here's the par putt from Kristen. There's another stroke shaved off of that. It's Haley tapping in for her par. And a little pep talk, I think, from Madison. Haley needs a little pep talk right now. We are on to hole 7, sponsored by Savage Ultimate. So thank you to Savage. Starts off with a drive over that out of bounds that we just saw. Landing in that zone, players are going to be landing about 50 feet past that out of bounds. And then it's just about chip, 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 putt. Isn't that what we heard from Holly?
Yeah.
With a little advice from Maddie O. But that's basically what it is. There's out of bounds on the left-hand side. There's trees and out of bounds on the right-hand side. It's all about staying in the middle, putting yourself in a good position where you can really unleash on a drive, but at the same time, be conservative and land it in bounds. So giving yourself enough distance, but not getting a little bit too out of hand. We've got a lot of distance to cover on this hole. It's a long one, 1,085 feet. That's going to require quite a few drives from these players, and we see a little bit of breeze picking up.
Yeah, a little bit of breeze because there's just nothing to stop it. Yeah, big thanks to Savage Ultimate. Again, it's actually a Savage apparel company. We can see it on the sign there, and we actually see Haley King wearing some Savage apparel here in our featured card. So big thanks to Savage. They have been with us the entire season on hole 7. And for all of you that at home that don't know, playing an ultimate game, which is 7 players,
means nobody
subs.
can sub in.
Yeah, means you're playing Savage.
It's pretty savage. Ultimate is such an intense game.
It's a savage game.
A little bit too much running for me, but it's such an incredible game. Such great strategy and of course a great team camaraderie. So give our like our brothers and sisters in the Frisbee world. So thank you to Savage Ultimate again for your support.
I feel like that's because you choose to run. I'm just the thrower. I just, they give it to me and I just bomb it to the end zone. Touchdown. No. It is Sunday after all. Everybody at home, if you're watching with us, we do appreciate it. We know we've got, there's obviously a lot of things that people have the choice to do on a Sunday, but it's Championship Sunday here on the Disc Golf Pro Tour. And while we have just a second, this is the final day of the regular season. We do have the Tour Championship coming up. And on the ladies' side of things, the Tour Championship will be down in Charlotte, North Carolina this year. Should be a lot of fun. Love playing in Charlotte. Great crowds. What a wonderful disc golf city coming up. So as we go through today, we'll break down a little bit of some implications that could happen for the Tour Championship. But for now, we're going to just keep an eye on this action. And boy, Rebecca Cox is playing really well. She looks so smooth. No question about it. Got it over inbounds here on that hole number 7.
We can see the wall right there. That's the start of the out of bounds. It's only about 30 feet long. The players can easily cross over that into that landing zone at about 320 feet. Haley getting a flip on this one, but
it's got to come. Oh, and I think it did come back just a little bit. So inbounds for Haley. And now our tournament leader, who in a long while, and since all the way back on Friday, that she's been not at 2 under par or better. So Sarah Hokom has picked up a couple of plus strokes here over the last 15 minutes. We'll see how she reacts going into these very difficult next 3 holes. Big sidearm, loving the angle, and perfectly in the middle. We'll take a break. We'll be right back. Pick and roll. Just roll. Yes. Nice. I'm rooting for it here in the booth. She had turned it over, and there's the smile. That's the smile we need from Haley. It's a bit of fortune for her to get back in bounds there. So yeah, that wasn't a great shot, but the cut roll saved her.
Yeah, sometimes you just need a little help on a day like this. Like Sarah Hokom had written on her hand, just keep hoping.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and the same thing. There we go. There's the kick.
Ooh, that spotter is almost getting right in the way of these kicks and skips and rolls.
Yeah.
There's another green flag.
I mean, and thank you to the ladies of our featured card, our lead card here, for really just kind of solidifying the conversation that we've had, that right side is very difficult to navigate, and how it gives a great advantage to a great sidearm player like Sarah Holcomb. Look, there's no trees, nothing to worry about over there. Just put a nice angle on it, a nice hyzer angle, and it should be right in the middle for Sarah. And there we go. Sarah playing a little bit of an S shot, something that she did mention in her post-round interview after round 2, Val, was that she likes to throw shots that keep her disc in bounds the entire time. So instead of playing the big hyzer out of bounds there, she played more of a controlled S shot, never was out of bounds. So something to think about.
Interesting too. Thinking back on that hole just 2 holes ago, maybe she was going for that S shot, but cranked it over a little bit too much. Whereas just that hyzer angle out of bounds could have almost been a little safer, actually. So let's take a look at the leaderboard here. The only big movement that I see so far is Paige Pierce. She is shredding it. She's tied with Rebecca Cox for the hot round of the day at 2 under.
Yeah, Katrina's at that 2 under number as well. So great players playing great in the championship round.
Yep, exactly.
Kat's pretty far back. Yeah, I mean, and you really look down at the scoreboard. We heard from Holly Finley yesterday. She wanted to just chip, putt, and she's doing that kind of. She's 3 up for the day. Again, most of these players reiterating that fact that they love playing Brewster versus the big wide open course here of Fox Run Meadows. So we were mentioning the Tour Championship, right? So that's going to happen down in Charlotte, North Carolina. And on the ladies' side, the top 16 ladies make it into the Tour Championship. And those points have been tabulated from the entire touring season. So every event that our players play, they gain points towards a point total. And that point total is what gets them into the Tour Championship. If you go to UDisc Live, you can go onto the Players tab, and then under the drop down, look at Pro Tour standings under 2019, and you'll see our season-long point totals. And Rebecca able to get way down there and stay in bounds.
And Fast Feet by cameraman Mo out there giving us some live coverage.
Yeah, absolutely. And so as our players are just continuing to work down, so basically we have the top 16 players making it into the Tour Finals on the ladies' side. The top 4 get a bye directly into the semifinals, and the players from 5th to 16 will play sort of a challenge round, I believe. I'll get that here in just a second, exactly what they do. But let's focus here on Holcomb's shot. Another important shot for her, just keep it in bounds. Looks like the same exact disc. Should in theory be the exact same throw. A little high though. That's going towards OB. Ooh. Oh, and it's just worked its way out of bounds. And she's going to get the flag there, Val.
And as you were saying, like this shot choice, this interesting strategy of playing in bounds is limiting Sarah with how great of a sidearm she has and how much open space there really is on the left-hand side, even over that out of bounds. So she's really narrowing it down into the fairway, and now she's out of bounds on the right-hand side, which I don't feel like a player with a sidearm like Sarah should be even coming close to.
Yeah, for me too, it's not taking advantage of the big wide open space on that left side.
Right.
And I understand Sarah mentioning, I just mentioned it, that she's trying to keep it in bounds and gain all the distance and all that. But by talking in those terms, you're really talking about potentially going out of bounds. In theory, we should never be talking about that. Out of bounds is something that we don't want to be in. So, you know, Sarah's making some mistakes here, and Kristen's in bounds here. It looks like she's going to have an outside chance at birdie if she even goes for it at this point, because there's still yet another stroke to be gained.
Right. Right. And this is what we've been seeing out of the other players in the 3 previous rounds. A lot of errors happening. One player playing very steady and safe and in bounds. But this hand isn't Sarah Hokom right now. This hand's Kristen Tatar. She's playing solid, steady, inbounds golf. Sarah's kind of a wild card at this moment. She needs to stick to her game plan. She needs to play a little bit, just stick to that conservative game plan.
Yeah, and this woman right here is playing great as well today. Rebecca Cox, very solid, very stable. Now this is going to be Haley King stepping up quickly, throwing that sidearm. Oh, and kicking a little sand up on the basket. Nice shot there by Haley.
Beautiful shot.
Yeah, so she's going to have a par as well. Now the thing too that we just have to mention is that this will be the 3rd bogey stroke in a row for Hokom, assuming she doesn't throw this in. But that's not just a trickle anymore. The spout of bogey strokes is open, and she's got to call the plumber and get that turned off. Get that spout turned off. She's got to just get a par on the card. She's got to turn off the leak. And so, you know, there's a lot of thought that's going to be put into this over here just over the next 15 minutes or so.
There she goes. If she taps that in, that will be that bogey that you were mentioning, Nate. See Kristen Tatar there on the far left of our screen. Yep, well outside circle 2. Should just be a nice, easy upshot. And there it is.
Yep, there it is.
She will be tapping in her par putt from there. We have Rebecca Cox heading over to her shot. She's putting for par.
And I still just, you know, talking about it yesterday, had Paige Pierce been in this group, it could have been a different scenario for her. You know, just because Paige is playing in the group ahead. Now she's having an incredible round. She's 3 in her par. She's moved to 8 over. Now at this point, she's still going to be 8 strokes back of Hokom. But the difference is that when you're not, oh man, it just looked like it was a missed grip almost. So, boy, Rebecca had been playing so well to that point, missing that putt. Man, just didn't look right coming out of the hand. But had Pierce been in this group, there could have been a whole different level of pressure and excitement. Again, Paige is still playing extremely well back there. 3 down through 8 holes. So that includes a bogey. So she's got 4 birdies and a bogey. Haley tapping in. And more importantly, now Kristen Tatar tapping in for par. So 1 more stroke gain. It's just a 4-stroke lead now. And we're going to take a look at hole 8 as our players walk over.
Hole 8, par 4, as it's just going to squiggle its way around. This is just a river of a fairway, bending right and then to the left and then back to the right where the basket is here. It's definitely a 2-drive type of hole. The first one starts off great I mean, I guess it's set up great for a backhand or a sidearm throw, but straight out in front of you. We're seeing a lot of players attempt to go for the basket, but we haven't seen anybody inside the circle there on their second drive. It's slightly uphill the entire way, where it seems like you're kind of on flat ground, but it is just a slight elevation gain, which makes each throw just seem a little bit more difficult, makes each throw a little bit harder to gain distance. And so that upshot, I think, is one of the harder ones. That depth perception is really difficult with that, just the slightest elevation gain. So it would be pretty awesome to see players be around the circle going for a birdie putt, but a par on this hole is really great too.
Yeah, we saw the statistics, 7% birdies. Well, that just means that one person in the field birdied the hole, and that one person is Paige Pierce. She did birdie this hole, so think about that. One person is 7% of the ladies' field, actually, is what that's kind of telling us, roughly, anyways. But yeah, we'll see Kristen step up here on the tee. And it's uphill the whole way. And with that little bit of rain. Of course, we had a lot of rain last week before the players got into town. But the rain yesterday, it's thick and lush. This grass is, it's probably grown a quarter inch since even they were here 2 days ago. So it's thick and it's a tough uphill hole.
Well, actually, I have to check in with Madison and see if she's got the grass measurements from Friday so we can compare.
Yeah, they don't mow it between rounds, so it's thicker. I guarantee that.
It is nice to have just bountiful amounts of sun. Just looks absolutely beautiful out here. We're at Smuggler's Notch Resort. The Green Mountains in the distance. Nice little pop from Haley. She's got such a smooth shot. She's got such a smooth throw, long arms. She's able to use just that pure technique.
Mm-hmm.
Pop it out there.
Well, that's got to get down. Oh, that's going to be OB. Poor Rebecca, who was playing so well, and just a missed putt back there has now led to an OB drive. So unfortunate for Rebecca. I think there's a lot of contemplation going on.
I kind of just want to scream for her.
I know. I just,
I was right there. Come on. You know how that feels. I'm sure she's screaming inside right now, knowing that it's just right within her grasp. So there is Sarah's shot. We're actually going to throw it back to Madison on the course and get a little bit of a check-in, see what's been going on the last few holes.
Okay, we're back out here just after the brutal hole 7, the hardest ladies hole on the course, and you can feel the nerves out here. It is palpable. Just in the past few holes, we've seen your classic mistakes that you get when you get a little bit nervous, shorting putts, early releasing drives, and we've seen uncharacteristically Sarah Hokom really early release a couple of drives into out of bounds. Just after hole 6 on her second out of bounds tee shot, she walked over to me and said, "You got any good luck charms in your backpack?" Pulled out a lucky pin and gave it to her, but at this point I think she's just trying to really keep it together. The nerves are very real, and hopefully these lead card ladies are going to figure out a way to shake it off. We can see all of them feeling it right now. It's kind of solemn on the card, it's kind of serious, definitely not the loose vibe that we had the past couple of rounds, even though they've been playing together all weekend long. Hopefully we'll see it loosen up a little bit, we'll see it get a little bit sunshiny, just like the weather is out here. Let's get back to the action.
And thank you, Madison, for that update. Yeah.
Yeah, use that pen to write something on that hand and kind of remind yourself what you've been doing to this point.
It's all in there.
Yeah, it really is. And you know what? I just have to mention the solemn aspect of it. I mean, I don't know if the right word is solemn. I just think that everybody's very focused. This is Championship Sunday. This is how it gets when a title is on the line, when Players who are not even near the lead are trying to gain a stroke or two. Haley King has not played well to this point, so she's obviously frustrated, trying to find a little bit of normalcy for herself. So, yeah, everybody's joking around and jovial when everything's going good for everybody. But in this case, everybody's got a goal in mind. And I think Chris Dickerson said it well. Every round is just another round until the final round. And the final round is different no matter what tournament it is. So, everybody's just got their own thing going. I think there still is a lot of positivity here, but everybody's just very focused on the task at hand.
It's so true. And it really takes a lot of focus. You see the players, they're a little shaken up. They're not hitting the lines that they want to. They're going out of bounds. Strokes are adding up. And that just means they need to focus just a little bit more. And so they are probably just dialing that in and kind of, taking themselves away from the group for a minute just so they can do a little self-talk, a little pep talk within their own minds.
Yeah, and there's sort of the fact that we've been in these positions so many times, there's this kind of sky is falling feeling, right? You make a mistake, right? So not only is that mistake obviously detrimental to your score, but then you think, oh my God, the fans are thinking about looking at me and I can't believe I just did that. And it's embarrassing. And then all of a sudden, oh, this guy's falling. And so you got to get over that too. And that just takes a little bit of self-preservation. But here we see Kristen Tatar. Oh, I like this line. Oh, beautiful shot for Kristen. Good rip. Outside chance. Well, maybe not such an outside chance. That looks like a very real chance at a possible birdie. She's been putting well all tournament long.
So and Kristen, now just four strokes back.
Yep. Loving it. Loving it from the booth, anyways.
And it gives us something to talk about.
Right.
It'd be smooth sailing for Sarah, of course, if she was still just foot to the gas and just still full steam ahead. But this is a game of golf.
Yes.
If you want to win a tournament, you have to earn it. And you have to play the best golf out there. And so Kristen Tatar putting a little bit of pressure on Sarah Hokom, making it fun for us here in the booth.
Right. And I mean, think about it. With Haley King, fantastic second shot there, playing well on this hole. So maybe that's just a little bit of positive energy for her. I mean, they're all competitors. They're absolutely all competitors. So yeah, it is fun. And it is the game of golf. And our fans at home are hopefully enjoying all this great action. It's been a lot of fun. There's no doubt. It's been a great Disc Golf Pro Tour season. Think all the way back to the Memorial when Evelina Salonen took down that championship over Paige Pierce. It was just, oh man, it was so much fun. Fast forward months and months later, here we are in just a beautiful Vermont, state of Vermont, with these players continuing to play well and looking forward to the end of the disc golf season.
And so are you hinting at perhaps we might have another international champion?
Well, I'm not hinting at it. It's a very real possibility. I mean, it's 4 strokes. I mean, we have 10 holes to play. So there's no doubt that is a very real possibility.
Let's see what kind of statement we have here from Kristen.
This goes in. Boy. Get your fingers ready, Johnny V. Oh, man. Just that close for Kristen Tatar. But at this point, both 2 pars for our 2 top players. And that's a birdie.
There we go, Haley King. Carding a birdie on this 8th hole. Cleaning up a little bit. Probably helping her mood a little bit, giving her a little positive energy. And there's a good putt from Rebecca. Back online. Tap in par for Sarah. We'll see Kristen tapping in that par here. We are headed over onto hole 9. Hole 9, as I mentioned in that second round, one of my favorite holes on this course. Par 3, 375 feet, slightly downhill, making it reachable for these players. But we do have OB on the left-hand side. We have OB on the right-hand side. And it's a ravine down there. So possibility of losing your disc if you shank it too far to the right. But players want to just hit the line, perhaps throw a little bit of a understable disc, using that flip up, allowing the flight to carry the distance, and then hyzering back. Landing on the left-hand side, you've got a little bit more room on the left-hand side of the green. We'll see if any players get close enough to run at birdie putts, but mainly keeping it out of bounds. You see that the early shanks or the late releases, that's when they're getting into trouble. And from there, if you get an out of bounds, it's still tough to get it underneath the basket.
It absolutely is. I apologize for those stats on there. It was 0% across the board, but the one minus the 67% out of bounds. Now, unless, hey, it's possible that nobody in the field has hit the fairway, but I doubt that. So we'll have to check those stats there. But big thanks to Gatekeeper Media for the flybys there. Beautiful flybys, as the views of the mountains from this course are just amazing. And Sunday final round out at Fox Run Meadows is one of my favorite days on tour. You got the NFL on. Me and Yuli would always be out. Looking for that kick. Haley's going to go out of bounds. Me and Yuli would always be talking about our, fantasy football and checking game scores and all those good things. It's a Sunday. It's fall. It's Vermont. It's the Disc Golf Pro Tour. It's the GMC, and right now it's our lead ladies. This is absolutely amazing and fun to be a part of.
See if it can flip up. It's looking like it's just going to sail.
Oh, I think, and now the posts are unofficial, but I see that line there on the outside of that post. She's going to be inbounds.
Wow.
The post really helping there, Val.
The post helping a lot. And I think just that little bit of a hillside that she hit slowed it down. If it was more of a flat OB line, maybe it wouldn't have stayed safe, but I think that hill helped her out. Whoa. That's a close call for Kristen. A little bit of a misfire. I mean, she didn't put enough pop on it to allow it to flip up. Didn't hit the line exactly how she wanted.
And we know how difficult this hole is. So even the slightest misfire can make things very, very scary here. And now the chess move goes back to Hokum. It's high.
Turned
it's
over.
On a turn. Oh, it looks beautiful. This looks great. Nice shot there by Hokum. I think the thing is, this is safe.
Exactly. You heard her vocalize, it's not OB. All right. So positive energy from Sarah. She's happy that she's safely in bounds on that shot. Woo, that's a stable disc, really stabling up at the end. But there's Rebecca Cox, middle of the fairway. Got all 4 players off to the tee. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back.
Today, we're talking about The Undertaker. The Undertaker is a fairway driver, and for advanced players, it will be pretty straight, but for the newer player, it'll be a good first control driver. For me, The Undertaker is the perfect point-and-shoot fairway driver, both in the woods and out in the open. If I'm throwing at a target that's straight ahead, I'm going with The Undertaker every time. It's just really straight. You can pick one up at discraft.com or your local disc golf retailer.
Hey, GMC viewers, go buy a mock shift basket from DGA, putt on it one time every other month, and see if your putting improves by like 200%. It probably won't, because that's not very consistent practice, but man, wouldn't that be awesome?
I can throw this disc around the world in one shot.
Never play disc golf too far into the jungle. There may be cheetahs.
Someone on your card can't recall if they threw a 6 or a 7. It was probably an 8. See? Stay getting birdies, my friends.
We are back with Haley King, who did go out of bounds on the right side here on hole 9. There's her caddy, Cameron Messerschmidt. Cameron was caddying for her yesterday as well. Ooh, long jump putt. Oh, yeah, able to nestle that one up. A little bit long, I guess, but that's Haley's third shot. Both of our lead competitors are inbounds on this. Kristen Tatar got very lucky. She has no idea, by the way, what happened, as it was totally blind. And so she's walking up and seeing it right about now. And she's going to see that she's going to be inbounds. Now, I think, again, not a betting man. I just want everybody to know at home, but I will bet fake money. You know,
that's still betting, I think.
All right. Well,
okay.
I just don't bet for real money.
Okay.
But if I was a betting man, which I'm not,
with real money,
yes, I would say 2 layups here from both of our competitors. I don't see. I just don't see it.
That was a pretty aggressive layup there.
Hey, I bet fake money now. And I can purposely be wrong too for our fans at home, but yeah, so Kristen gave it a good go. And so let's see what Hokum's got for us also.
Ooh, that's not that far past the basket, but I don't know, a little bit of a tester. For putts like this, I feel like Kristen's putting is just so strong. She's just got that eagle eye, that just such intense focus.
Yeah, that's what I was worried about right
I
there.
know, right when I said it. It is the curse of the commentator.
No, but I'm just saying, I think that the chess game that we're playing here, there's a lot of pressure. And unless you have a very clean and clear, putt, that just even that 20-footer coming back is more like a 35-footer in a way. And I think a chip up, a tap in, move on to the next hole, I think would have been more prudent in that position. So even though I lost my fake money, I still think I was right. But I could be wrong. There you go.
I mean, putts like that in the first round, the second round, third round, not a problem. But like you said, pressure is on, and you could just see the disappointment on both of their faces.
Right. Yeah. And now the situation doesn't change. But as I said, in these situations, unless you have a very clear visual of what you've got going on, I think a layup would have been prudent there. Anyways, here we go. That's 9 holes in the books. Let's take a look at 10, Val.
Hole 10, par 3, 295 feet. You can see the elevation changes on this one. Starts off, we're just clearing this valley. And as you make your way, basket's sitting there on a side hill. So you can be pretty aggressive with how hard you're throwing this shot. You need to be sure that you're making it to the basket. That hillside is going to slow you down, so you're not going to skip too far past. It's all about the angle here for the backhand throwers. Something nice and smooth and soft, possibly mid-ranges that they're throwing out there straight and allowing them to turn over on their own. Sarah Hokum, she's going to have a nice hyzer sidearm shot here. Again, 295 feet, so it's very reachable. And you see on the left side of the green, wide open. So players can play very safe on this one, but we do see players getting into a little bit of trouble if they're not able to hit the line.
Yeah, we saw that 7% number, which means that we know there's only been one birdie by the entire field on this hole. This hole is really not that difficult, and that was done by Allison Haggett way back in 20th place, but she did grab a birdie here on that 10th hole. So it's birdieable.
Wow.
There's no doubt about it.
But only by one person.
It's
That's
incredible.
shocking.
It is shocking. Look at this shot. It's the trees. Oh, and battles inbounds. Nice for Rebecca. Now, I'd like to say advantage goes to Hokum here. She did not throw a very good drive in the first round that we played on this course. Haley inbounds. And while Hokum didn't throw a good drive on this hole last round, Kristen Tatar did. She threw a very nice turnover. Let's see if she's able to replicate that here in this championship round as the nerves are starting to ratchet up. I love it, Val. Oh, yeah.
Beautiful shot there from Kristen. And
yeah.
And those are the, we're throwing drives. There's not as much pressure when it comes down to drives. So as long as keeping these drives on point could help ease the tension. Right now, who wants to win this tournament?
Mm-hmm.
Who is going to fight through those nerves and take down this tournament? Sarah
Doesn't have the
Hokum.
D. Okay, so we're going to take a look at the replay here of those shots, and we'll head to commercial. We'll be back in just a minute.
Okay, that here in this championship round, as the nerves are starting to ratchet
Nice,
up.
Johnny. This is nice. This
I
is what they
love
would
it,
do in
Val.
golf tournaments.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think, flatness and stiffness on this?
Somewhat flat, neutral stiffness. This is a good disc right here.
Got it. 2 more.
Danny, this is a sick one.
Dude, I gotta get through all these today.
Cheers to a good day, gentlemen.
Cheers.
Ooh. Yeah, that's
good.
It's a hard day.
It's great.
When I need to check the wind, I just let out my hair.
Disc golf is 90% mental. The other 10% also mental.
If you want to make new friends on the course, pick up someone's disc in the fairway by accident.
Stay getting birdies, my friends.
We're back here on the green of 10. Sarah Hokum for birdie. Just inside the circle. The orange edge of the circle line is right near her back left foot.
Just a little short there, and you can see a little bit disappointment from Sarah, not able to capitalize on that. She had a nice drive, but we know Kristen Tatar is right under the basket. So this will be in favor for Kristen. Gaining another stroke on Sarah, who is now, as you can see at the bottom of your screen, 1 over. Kristen Tatar, 5 over, but with this birdie, 4 strokes behind.
And actually, as Tatar, if she is able to tap in this birdie, will move to 3 strokes behind. So we've got just 8 holes left and a 3-stroke lead. And at this point, it's 3 strokes different from where we started. So it's a 6-stroke lead off the start and a 3-stroke lead with just 8 holes to play. So if Kristen can continue to build on the momentum, we got to see if Sarah's up for the challenge to really hold her off at this point. But we will see. We just see Sarah coming in to tap in her par here on this 10th hole. And let's move over and take a look at hole 11.
Here we are in hole 11, par 4, 500 feet. Another one of these holes where it's going to take 2 big drives before an upshot under the basket. You can see where those drives landed. I think that's Kristen Tatar there in her practice round, checking out what it's like down here on the green. It's really technical. Lots of trees come into play. We do have an OB line along the entire right-hand side that really comes into play on the upshots, especially that little corner on the right-hand side right before that rock wall. That's going to be really challenging for players as they're making their way down into the green. But it's all about playing safe off of the drive. You don't need that unnecessary out-of-bounds stroke right off the bat. There's a lot more complications as you make your way down this fairway.
Yeah, and just as a reminder to all of our fans at home, when you do look at those course maps, the ladies here are playing from the blue tees. So if you're just looking at which tee it is, because I think there's 4 tees on each hole, some of the gold and blue tees are shared. So just as a reminder to everybody at home. And here's Rebecca Cox. That's going to be OB. So there's an OB stroke from Rebecca. And can you imagine? I mean, we kind of are a little we're frustrated for Rebecca. Look at the size of the fairway on the right side. I mean, there's no need to bring that left into play. And that must be going through Kristen's mind right now. Look at that.
There we go.
Beautiful line. And actually, in our flyover by Gatekeeper, we saw Kristen Tatar in it. So we know she practiced this. And
I think that's where she landed in practice.
Yeah,
so
probably very close, right?
Sticking to the game plan.
Haley's asking for it to come back, across, roll over, don't go OB. It's going to be a tough angle to access this hole. And last but not least, of course, is our tournament leader, Sarah Hokum. And while Sarah was able to turn off the spigot there momentarily on 8, of 8 with the bogeys, she did pick one up on 9 and has par 10. And now going to be in the fairway here on 11. Let's take a short break. We'll be back to the action after this. Welcome back, everybody. We are here on hole 11. This is the championship round of Discraft's Green Mountain Championship presented by Grip Equipment. We are on Fox Run Meadows. I'm Nate Doss. To my right is 4-time women's world champion Valerie Jenkins. And Val, we're here on hole 11. We've had some heated, really moments in this round so far, with Hokum making quite a few mistakes. Tatar making mistakes as well, but able to hang in there and has gained 3 through 10.
This is what we as spectators want to see in a final round. And look at this beautiful shot from Rebecca. Unfortunately, she went out of bounds off the tee. I mean, she'd be sitting at a birdie, but she's there to save her par. And that is one of the best shots I've seen on an upshot on this hole. It is so tough to get all the way down to the basket. So congratulations to Rebecca on that amazing shot. As you said,
job well done. That's certainly the case there.
The storyline here is Sarah Hokum needs to get back on pace. Play like she did in those first 3 rounds. Play that nice, steady golf we know she has in her game.
Tough for us to see exactly where that landed. I think it was a little wide. So she got, if you look in the right side of your screen, it's quite a few trees over there. So she probably got caught up in there, and it's possible that she's able to find a putt through those trees. Quite a few different avenues, and that's a great view from behind the basket. And you see Kristen running all the way up, getting a visual.
So you can see that large tree right there, and there's the white stake on the ground. That's the corner of the out of bounds. That's a great gap just to the left-hand side, working your way all the way down to the basket. You do have, once you peak that edge and you're working your way downhill, you have gravity wanting to pull you off to the left. So a nice, slow mid-range is a really good play. This is also a good play too. We know Kristen Tatar's got a pretty strong sidearm, but she's got to be careful about that out of bounds that continues on the right-hand side of the green.
She's got it wide also, but able to sneak through. It's got to sit, and it did. So she's in bounds. You can see that white stake. And zoom in. She's just, well.
We do see that. I think the white line's just past her disc, but she is riding the line.
Yeah, now in the last 3 holes, she's been that close to the line, but she's going to take her meter and have a birdie putt from that point. We don't know at this point where Hokum landed. It's just simply due to the fact that we couldn't see it coming in. Haley having to thread that needle and able to get it inbounds. So no problems there for Haley. She's going to have a downhill birdie putt. Knowing Haley, she's definitely going to go for that. Even though there's some OB implications behind. Yesterday we saw, or 2 days ago, we saw one of the men's players putt from that similar spot and putted OB.
Hey. We're back.
What's going on? We're back in the booth. We're just going to let our cameraman get into position there.
Yeah, and it's nice to see all the players now, working their way down toward that green. We see Sarah dropping off her Zuka cart.
Mm-hmm.
I think she did make it down over that rock wall, though.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, we'll see. Sarah just grabbing a few key discs, leaving the Zuka cart behind.
Coming down in. So, again, the Nate Doss betting game, this is a layup for sure. There's no reason. And I know that Tatar is over there putting for birdie, but the chess game has to be played. Slide it up under the basket, force Tatar to make it. There's nothing you can do about it, but a putt missed here can easily go out of bounds long.
I'm going to agree with you on this one. Just lay it up under the basket.
Oh boy. She's asking for it to sit.
Yikes.
I actually couldn't hear what she asked for. Did you hear what it was? We'll ask Madison.
I think she was looking for
just funny.
The crowd.
Yeah, just the crowd. Yeah.
Just a little acknowledgement.
Right.
Joke there.
It was funny because I think the crowd possibly thought she was serious. Maybe we'll hear from Madison if what was actually said there, but very. Of course, now Kristen just now knows. Okay, so let's see if we can get our cameraman in there. I see one of our cameramen moving in a position. Let's have him get a look. Okay, so we're going to say she's inbounds because none of the other players. Yeah, she's now picked it up and moved it, so it's going to be impossible for us to tell. But we're going to say she's inbounds.
And she is putting for birdie here.
And right in the heart of that DGA Mach X basket. Big thanks to DGA as they are the course sponsor here on our course, Fox Run Meadows. A beautiful birdie putt by Kristen.
Back-to-back birdies for Kristen. Now, which basket's Rebecca going to be putting at?
Don't putt at the fake one. Just putt the real one. No, but seriously, big thanks to DGA for their support, and they are the course sponsor here for our championship course. Fox Run Meadows at Smuggler's Notch Resort. And there's the tap in by Haley. Now that had to be a very nervous moment for Sarah as it picked up and rolled. But it's inbounds. This is for par for Sarah.
And good putt from Sarah. She needed that. The gap is now closing in just 2 strokes. Kristen Tatar has made up 4 strokes in this round already, and we're only on hole 11. Whew, the tension's building, Nate. We know we've got a lot of holes left. Anything can happen, and these players know that. We're on to hole 12. Here we go. Par 4, 630 feet. Starts off with a drive layup to the short grass area here. We see all the tall grass that's out of bounds. So the second shot, hoping to crush it over into the short grass here. We're going to see players around circle 2's edge, maybe into circle 2. But this is a par 4. The distance here is really what makes it that par 4. Wide open. Some OB comes into play, but I really don't feel like that's the biggest challenge. I think the distance and big drives are going to allow you to even have an opportunity at a birdie.
Correct. Yes, absolutely. And there's really, again, our ladies are playing from the blue tee, so we're going to pull it up here. Now, you can see the other 2 tee pads. You have the red and the white. Now, I think the tee we've been referencing as the red has actually been the white. And so if they're up by the tee pad that we kind of see in the fairway on the left side, that leaves them 375 feet away from the basket. So that is attainable by any one of these players, but also it's just a tough kind of weird angle.
Yeah.
So tough birdie here, but there you go. The story is unfolding right in front of us. We have to mention Rebecca Cox, 1 under par. What a solid round by her. Paige Pierce, 2 under. Katrina Allen, even. Haley's coming back a little bit. So, but really, the 2 at the top are the ones we're talking about.
Yeah, exactly. And the storyline has shifted. Sarah Hokum's safe play that's been happening throughout the rounds here at the tournament. The previous 3 rounds, she's just consistent, steady, playing very safe. Now all of a sudden, those safe shots are landing out of bounds. And so even though she is playing conservative, the strokes are starting to add up. And as we see, Kristen Tatar just 2 strokes back right now. And Kristen's probably feeling the pressure just as well. She needs to continue to perform as good as she has throughout the weekend. She's been right there. She's played amazing. It's just a matter of a couple holes in each round that continue to add up. And that's why we started off with a 6-stroke deficit at the beginning of the round. But she's been playing very steady today, and minimizing those errors, I think, is the key to success so far.
Yeah, for sure. And if you're at home, pull up UDisc Live. You can go back and look at the previous round that they played on Brewster, or excuse me, on Fox Run. Right here is the switch, right? So at this point, last round that they played here, Hokum was 3 down, no bogeys. She played from 12 to 18, 3 over par. And again, once they make the big walk back to the other holes, none of the holes really are in favor of a sidearmed player. In that same stretch of holes, Kristen Tatar played even. She had 1 birdie and 1 bogey. So right there, if we go off history, that's enough for Kristen to overtake Sarah. But of course, today's a different day, different conditions, and a different scenario. And as I see those discs coming in, it is the red stakes that the discs are landing near. So that would suggest that they only have 225 feet into the basket. And from what I saw in our throws 2 days ago, that just doesn't seem the numbers are correct. Let's get Jeff Spring out there with a wheel. I want to see that that's 225. But anyways, I digress. First 2 are inbounds.
That would mean they're throwing about 400 feet off the tee pad with a 630-foot hole. I'm not sure that's the case. They're not really putting everything into the flight. I mean, that's a full S shot that needs to happen for these players to get that type of distance.
Yeah, so I'm going to say those stakes are the white stakes. So they got over 300 feet left. Let's take a break. We'll catch up with you in a second.
The DGA Pipeline's the longest, straightest fairway driver you'll ever throw. I just need a good line about pipes and disc golf. Pipes. I got nothing.
We're back here in the fairway with our tournament leader, Sarah Hokum, and it gives us a perfect perspective of where the basket is and where she's lying, and also this very controversial 225-foot red tee. But at any rate, no worries. She's asking for it to get down. This is the same play that she did in the first round, and she was unable to get up and down from that point. So she did bogey this in the first round we played at Fox. But so far she's inbounds, and an up and down will be a par for her. We'll just see if Kristen's able to be more aggressive.
We can see the flag on the top of the basket is blowing and showing us that it's a tailwind. So this is, in my opinion, green light. I think Rebecca's sitting in a really good position too, kind of forcing that turnover shot, pumping it out there and allowing the disc to do the work. Oh, and then leaving it low. She is safely inbounds, but that's going to be a big upshot to the basket.
And that's just the difference between the five-time world champ Paige Pierce and some players that are just really not that far behind. It's just that. I mean, Paige would bomb that out by the basket, 99% of the time. And we see a lot of these low shots from our players here. So at any rate, here's Kristen in absolutely perfect position.
Yes. Does it a little bit more height, and that would have carried so much farther.
Yeah, she's upset about that. You can see her reaction, not happy. And again, it's the height. You got to bomb it out there by the basket if you want to get those birdies on these tough holes. And Haley, perfect position.
Yes.
That's the height we're looking for. That's the shot.
There we go. Now we got a run at a birdie on hole 12 here. Haley King inside the circle. Thank you, Haley. We needed a good shot on this one. I mean, it seemed like 3 players right there. They were in prime position. The OB really doesn't even come into play. This is your chance to just unleash on a shot. Even though this is a big, wide open course, there's a lot of room to throw. You really get restricted on the shots that you can throw, but this is one of them that you could kind of just feel a little bit looser, a little bit more relaxed. And unfortunate, the other players weren't able to execute those shots. And wow, look at the distance that Rebecca Cox still has to the basket.
Right. And, I don't know, each individual player analyzes their own game in their own way. But, that to me is something to work on. I mean, you when you're out in the open, you got to be able to just let the disc fly a little bit. She had an opportunity to potentially pick up a birdie here. And that's a nice upshot. So she's going to be able to get her par. But, I mean, she was in good position. You got to let it fly. So we'll see. Holcomb is going to be on the right side of the fairway. She is inbounds, roughly 120 feet into the basket. In this kind of right foot forward position. Not a lot of players out there would do it, but Sarah is just such a great sidearm player. She's very comfortable in that position and comfortable with that shot. So that's going to be a tap-in par for her. Our cameraman will move up just a little ways. And we'll see Kristen Tatar next. And playing very quickly and not playing a very good shot, to be honest with you.
I was worried that was going to happen.
Yeah, that's a bad shot. She's going to have to make a putt when she shouldn't have to.
And thinking about it.
Oh, she's still out. She is still out, everybody at home. She's walking up here. That's playing very, very quickly here.
She needs this putt to keep that confidence. Wow. Nice putt there from Kristen. I mean, another second longer about thinking about a putt like that under situation that she's in right now, that would have been a miss.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just so much pressure that it's just so difficult to make your body move in the motions that you need it to. And way to go for Kristen. And there we go. We've got a birdie here on hole 12, bumping up the stats for the FPO division. Any other birdies on this one, Nate?
I don't know. That was a great birdie, though. Yeah, Paige Pierce did pick up the birdie here on 12. We see Haley King. And so those are the only two birdies, Paige and Haley. And as I said, Paige let it fly. She picked up her birdie. Haley able to do the same. And Rebecca just tapping in for par. Now we're going to see Holcomb tap in for par. Now, of course, we know Tatar's putt went in the basket, but it's a little nerve-wracking. It's, you don't want to have any chink in the armor. There's hole 12. We're going to go check in with Madison Walker out on the course and see what's up. He's coming into position. Mads, we're all watching you right now. There we go. Move on over. All right. Take it away, Madison. Let's hear what they got.
Hey guys, catching up with you guys as we go into the back nine with the FPO lead card here at Fox Run at the Smugglers Notch Disc Golf Course. We just finished one of the harder holes on the course and we're heading into the final stretch. It's still very nervy out here, but I had some fun facts for you guys. Last year at the World Championships, the FPO field played at Fox Run 3 rounds out of the 5 total rounds. Sarah outcompeted Kristen on the back nine of 2 out of the 3 rounds last year. As of right now, it looks like Kristen is definitely outcompeting Sarah, but the norm is that Sarah does the opposite. However, the back nine does have a lot of forehand, not-friendly holes. Sarah has her game plan like we heard in previous rounds where she just chips up to the middle and takes place for par. But Kristen has a very aggressive and dominant backhand that could definitely get birdies where Sarah's laying up and just playing for par. We'll see what happens. I'm nervous. I hope you guys are enjoying the competition. Let's go watch the action.
This September, the biggest disc golf event in New England returns. The 6th annual Green Mountain Championship presented by Discraft. The action unfolds on 2 internationally renowned courses, Brewster Ridge and Fox Run Meadows. The field is stacked with pro world champions Paige Pierce and Greg Barsby returning to defend their 2018 titles. We also welcome back former world champs Paul McBeth, Paige Pierce, and Ricky Wysocki. Who will be the victor this year? One thing's for sure, this is a can't-miss event. It's all part of Smugs Fall Fest, an action-packed weekend of disc golf, craft beer, music, and more at Smugglers Notch Resort. The Green Mountain Championship at Smugglers Notch Resort. Spectators are welcome, lodging packages are available. For more information, visit us online at smugs.com/fallfest.
And as we come back live here, we see just a little bit of conversation between our group. What a birdie there for Haley. Is they are clear to go. We got 6 holes left, right? And we've got 2 strokes separating. One thing I got to mention when we come back here from commercial break is that Paige Pierce is 4 under par. For her round, she's now tied with Rebecca Cox. So Paige Pierce having one of those championship level final rounds.
Just climbing her way up the leaderboard. Wow.
She's 4 under par with 3 bogey strokes. And again, I think had she been in this group, things could have been just a little different. But here is Kristen Tatar. And Val, I think this one's just 350, asking for it to go a little further. Crowd liked it from the tee. Our camera just lost connection there for a second, so we weren't able to see where it landed there, Kristen, but she did get down there a bit.
You see wind blowing from behind Rebecca, a little bit of a tailwind. Oh, and another low early release for Rebecca. That's frustrating. She'll be in trouble there on the left-hand side. We know Kristen made her way down the fairway a good bit. Very tough sidearm hole right here. We do have an out of bounds line on the right-hand side, and then it circles around the basket and beyond. Hokum needs to be very careful. Good turnover here from Hokum.
Yeah, and in all reality, we have 6 holes left. There's 6 backhand holes, or there's 3 backhand holes, and there's 3 sidearm holes. So we're going to take a break. We'll catch up with you here in just a second. Back live, we zoom in to see Haley King. There's a lot of trees between here and there, and she's hit one of them. So as we come back on air, I'd like to just reiterate what I was saying. I was trying to quickly go through them all, but it's 2 sidearm friendly holes and 4 backhand friendly holes as we play these last 6. So 13, 14 backhand. 15 is a good sidearm hole, actually. And then 16, 17 are both backhand holes. And 18, in my opinion, is still friendly for a sidearm player, certainly as we come into the green. So we all have to remember we saw Paul McBeth triple bogey 18 just 2 days ago. So anything can happen on that hole. Sarah chipping right up, doing what she needs to do, Val.
Yep. Solid and steady, not forcing anything to happen right now. She still has the lead, but she knows that she needs to play smart golf. A good little pitch there. It was a tough position for Rebecca.
And there's another pitch. I believe that pitch was from Kristen Tatar. So she's pitched up as well. As when she was hyzering in, it looked like she kicked out to the right. She was safe.
Haley's got a pretty good window. Is she going to be that aggressive and go through there? It looks like she is. She's lining it up.
Macbeth-esque. Here, Macbeth made a huge putt here in the second round. Oh, and it looked good for a long, long time.
Oh my, and getting saved by the wall.
Yeah, the Keen wall able to save her there.
It is out of bounds over that wall.
It is, yes.
So now she's going to have to take her meter in. A meter is just a little bit too short for that really comfortable stance. Oh, and look at here. It's actually the line is the wall
There's a line painted there.
in front of the wall.
Yeah. So we still think she's in bounds. Oh, I'm just seeing from another camera angle. Haley was out of bounds. Now that putt has been missed. So she's through 1, 2, 3, 4 shots with a penalty. She's lying 5. So she's going to be able to tap in her triple bogey there. And
That happened so quickly.
it did. Yes. We apologize to everybody at home. We couldn't see that line really. We just assumed the wall was the line, but it was actually about 1.5 feet inside that wall. Fickle there. And there's the made putt by Rebecca. And now just 3 tap-ins here. So let's go ahead and start forecasting here towards hole 14. We've got a 2-stroke lead for Hokum. And let's take a look at that 14th hole, Val. The uphill 14th.
Hole 14, it's a par 3, 305 feet, working our way back uphill slightly. So that 305-foot distance plays a little bit longer, more like 330, 340. We did see players pumping it up here, getting within the green, but you have to be aware of where all these trees are. So it makes the putting stance not right out in the open. You might have to do a straddle, a reach out, might have to get tricky with the putting, but great birdie opportunity. And this does set up well for the backhand, but we saw Sarah really work her shot off to the left-hand side and work it in between the trees in the second round. So we think Sarah can get within the circle as well. But this is a prime chance for a birdie.
It really is. And, again, we're looking at the course map there, 305 feet, well in the range of Kristin Tattar. There's no doubt about that. And, again, we saw Hokum play this pretty well back on Friday. But of the last 6 holes, this was the one that Kristin birdied back on Friday. So has definitely good feelings about that. Let's see what Kristin is able to come up with here on this 14th.
The wind's dropping it just a little bit. And she could have gotten the skip closer to the basket. Trees just deflecting that shot. She's still going to have a putt slightly uphill. I'd say about 25 to 30 feet.
Rebecca having a very respectable round. She's 1 under par. Ooh, sneaks on through and up there. She should move to 2 under par now.
And there was good height on that one. Finally, I feel like she's been kind of in this rut, this low rut of throwing into the ground the previous couple of tee shots. So that one was a great adjustment, and that's a park job.
Mm-hmm. And here's the all-important shot from Hokum. It's only 305. She can get up there. I like the line right down the middle. Oh, and hits a late tree, stopping her just short. She's going to have a birdie opportunity. That was a very well executed putt there by Hokum. And here's Haley going big and wide. This should look nice as well if it gets clean, and it does. And that's all 4 players off the tee. We will be right back.
Spectacular views like these and championship level play like this can mean only one thing. It's time for Fall Fest at Smuggler's Notch Resort. 2 days of disc golf, craft beer, mountain biking, and more. Featuring live music from Zach Nugent and Blues for Breakfast. Also the 2019 Discraft Green Mountain Championship, the biggest disc golf event in New England. Special group rates on lodging are available. Call today and stay while you play.
And here's where Kristen's drive landed after hitting the trees, just kicking back just a little bit. I think she was pretty fortunate, though, as history has shown us hitting those trees could result in a roll and out of bounds. So I think Kristen's shot was pretty fortunate, not able to capitalize on that putt.
Yeah, and I think the one thing to pay attention to is how many trees are right there. I mean, yeah, she hit a tree, but there's what, 8?
And the way that they're
Yeah.
just lined up and stacked up just a couple feet apart from each other, just
Yeah.
creating a really tight wall.
We've got just a beautiful view here of Hokum's chance to take her lead back to 3 strokes. Here's Sarah Hokum for birdie.
And right in the heart.
I say give that a Zuka replay. That's a big putt for Sarah Hokum because seriously, that's a huge moment. And there it is. Let it roll. Look at the focus. Look at the extension right in the heart.
I was dead in
Dead
line
center.
with the pole. I
Dead
was
center.
perfect putt. Another nice putt here from Haley. We got 2 birdies on this hole. Kristen Tatar there tapping in for the par. And as you said, Sarah Hokum
Back to 3 strokes.
gaining another stroke. It's been a while. She was losing stroke after stroke. It's nice to see her gain a stroke back.
That's that tap in birdie there for Rebecca Cox going to 200 par. There's a fist pump from Haley. Oh boy, 14 was a good one. Let's take a look at 15.
Here we are at hole 15. We're in the woods here on this one. It's 315 feet, very tight and technical. You've got to hit the line. We know that this hole was carved out for the World Championship, so the rough is pretty rough. There's so many small, tiny trees if you get off the fairway. Sets up really well for a sidearm shot or a slow turning over backhand. Even when you get to the green, you still might have a few trees in your way. So putting could be difficult, but it's within the distance of another birdie opportunity for this group, but it's very technical shot. So you got to hit the line.
Yes, very, very well said. 315 feet. It's very gettable, but actually, over these rounds that we've followed here this year, the sidearm has certainly been the best looking shot on this hole. So 6% birdies, which is interesting because we know 7% was the average for one. So at any rate, that just kind of confuses me. What I could say, that putt by Sarah could mean everything, as hole 18 is the most difficult hole, and a little bit of an extra buffer could mean it all, and that could be the stroke that could win the title for her. Just trying to look at where our camera was going. I don't know if Rebecca hit the first tree and went all the way into the woods. Yeah, I got a little bit confused there, but that's on us, folks at home. We'll find out here in just a sec.
You know, Sarah Hokum, 3-stroke lead. We need a clean drive from her.
Oh, I like it. Needs a flex. Oh, yeah.
Beautiful
Nice.
shot
Yeah.
from Sarah. That's what she needed right there.
Boy, that veteran prowess. Sarah making some really, really good shots, executing down the stretch. That looks good as well for Haley. Could go in. Oh, I hit a late tree.
And we're going to have Kristen stepping up on the tee. It's very important for Kristen. If she wants to keep in it, we need a clean drive from her as well. We know she's going to be pulling out the backhand.
So difficult here. So difficult. Going to be short. Just needs to sit. And it's hit a tree late. I don't want to go to commercial. I just don't know where Rebecca went. I see her walking forward. So let's take a commercial break and we'll be right back. Okay, so we know officially now where Rebecca is. She did get caught up early. It's a tough little stance. It's just a limitation of her game. You figured with a backhand she could step out and have a nice little flex, but she's forcing her, just a nice turnover, but she's forcing herself to have to throw that sidearm. Asking for it to go to the right. She's going to have a long par putt from there. But yeah, if she had a stronger turnover backhand, she could have just stretched out and maybe got it around a little bit better. Next up will be Kristen. In a way, I think Kristen still has to stay strong here. There's no guarantees that Holcomb's going to make her putt, although it is very makeable. She got to just put it up under the basket, limit the stress here, and understand that 16 and 18 are two of the most difficult holes on the course, with 18 being the most difficult. Yeah, good. Smart play. Very, very smart play, Val.
Seemed like that's pretty much all she could really do. I mean, she did have a little bit of an opening, but I'd be forcing a huge putt to happen, and we haven't seen big putts like that drop all day. I was waiting for Haley just
to can it.
Yeah, hit that putt in my eye. Oh,
Right.
wait, what?
Yeah.
No big putts? How about this one?
Right.
But there's Haley just under the basket for her par.
Okay, now everybody at home, see the disc right there in front of Rebecca? That's the disc of Sarah Holcomb. And so Sarah's going to have a straddle putt with left foot forward, and it's a makeable putt. There's no doubt about it. Oh, man. I mean, it was a good putt, right side. Oh, man, that was tough. So she's going to give one back. Rebecca, and Rebecca is actually unknowingly in a battle with Paige Pierce, who's a couple holes ahead at this point, but she's going to give one back and be back now tied for third with Paige Pierce.
And so we have Sarah here putting for birdie. Now she has 3 strokes, but getting this birdie in will give her 4 strokes with 3 holes to play. It's going to be a comfortable zone for Sarah. She needs this putt.
And
there
she's
it is.
got it. Yeah, that's huge. Sarah knows it as well as the crowd here following, and gets the fist pump from Haley.
And Kristen came in,
and
give her
Kristen.
props.
Yeah, again, the interviews from Kristen, she just has such a wonderful personality. It's amazing. So yeah, giving her the props. What a nice bit of sportsmanship there by Tatar. And Tatar has to know that there's still an opportunity to win this tournament. You just got to stick it out till the very end. There's a lot of possibilities here left. But yep, birdie there for Hokum. What incredible birdie it is. Tap in there for Tatar for par. And let's move over and take a look at the very, very difficult 16th hole, Val.
Yeah, we're talking about there's still strokes out there. It's good Sarah gained another one, but this is a technical hole. Par 3, 600 feet. Look at how tight this fairway is. Looks like we're back on Brewster Ridge, how tight and technical it is. We've got the rock wall on the left-hand side. We've got the tight trees. If you get stuck in there, it's jail. Players have to stop at that landing zone right before the bridge, and then the second shot carries them out into this fairway. We've got an OB line on the right-hand side, and you can see the Disc Golf Pro Tour wall surrounding the basket. There you go. Now you can see the out of bounds. It doesn't really come into play until the second half of the hole. There's no out of bounds on the left-hand side, so that's the place. If you're going to throw your second shot, you might not hit the exact line. Error on the side of the left-hand side. We saw Hokum throw over there yesterday. We're going to see players hopefully heading that way as well, but still lots of out of bounds. So strokes could add up. And we're talking a technical shot. Strokes could add up there too.
Yeah, both Hokum and Tatar parred this hole in our second round, so they got that going for them as just a point of reference. Greg Barsby quadruple bogeyed this hole in the second round, so he got caught up in the trees and took him 3 strokes to get out. So most important shot of the tournament at this point, for Sarah Hokum. And where's that? That's in the short grass, Val, right in the middle. Oh, it's in the no grass area.
It's in the dirt,
Yeah.
actually, but perfectly right in the middle of the fairway. It's exactly where she needs to be. There we go. Haley just gaining a few feet from Sarah. What was that again? Oh, Big Z Luna.
Yeah.
I think she writes that just in case she forgets.
Right. Kristen, disc in the air, begging for it a little bit. Oh,
Oh, that was a nice little rollout.
yeah, but look at the stance. It's going to be tough for right-handed players. I think maybe stretching out with a sidearm could be the next shot for Kristen.
Yeah. It's not great, but it's better than where it originally landed. And there's Rebecca. She's in the fairway as well. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back.
I can throw this disc around the world in one shot.
Never play disc golf too far into the jungle. There may be cheetahs.
Someone on your card can't recall if they threw a 6 or a 7. It was probably an 8.
See? Stay getting birdies, my friends.
What do you think flatness and stiffness on this?
Somewhat flat, neutral stiffness. This is a good disc right here.
Purple and orange. Got it. 2 more.
Danny, this is the sick one.
Dude, I gotta get through all these today.
Cheers to a good day, gentlemen.
Cheers.
Ooh,
Yeah,
that's good.
It's a hard day.
That's great.
just in the nick of time to see this shot in the air, and it's a beautiful shot at that. Nice shot there by Rebecca Cox. Very, very controlled. Really, all four of our players, Val, were able to put it in fairly good positions. I think the only person is Tatar, who is unfortunately not going to be able to get her whole body and throw behind this next shot.
And it could possibly mean she's going to be throwing a sidearm, which is pretty risky with that out of bounds on the right-hand side. So, yeah, she's in a tough position while Sarah Hokom is sitting pretty right in the middle of the fairway.
My guess is that this is within a few feet, if not in the tall grass on the left, which is all inbounds. That's going to be a flippy disc, I can guarantee it. Oh, and she's got it flexed right back in the middle. Staying aggressive. Good for Hokom. I think that's a really great sign with just 3 holes left to play. Val, can I just say that the term from yesterday that was written on Sarah's hand, process, this is what I'm talking about. This is the process of winning a disc golf tournament at this level. You have to accept the highs with the lows. Sarah has done that at this point and come back even stronger. And here's Tatar's got to get down. And she's nice and safe. But this is the process. And maybe can you give us just a little bit of insight and, not exactly any situation you've been in, but the situation we're seeing and how Hokom has embraced that process here?
And nothing is set in stone, of course. She's still working through the process as we're going. But what it means to win a tournament is a huge thing. But what it means to overcome a round like this. She was in the lead by 6 strokes to start the round, bringing it back to, what was it down to? Was it down to 2 at one point? 3 strokes, very close. I mean, when you can overcome those difficulties, hit putts under pressure, and just maintain that confidence, that's what every great player strives to do. And when you can do that consistently, that's when you see players winning those big tournaments over and over again. And in the end, when you're so used to that, you really get so comfortable in that position. But Sarah Hokom, she's been right there, of course, through all these years, but she hasn't consistently won. So winning big tournaments like this, it means a lot. It means she's really put in the time, and she's now, like you said, going through that process. And I know Sarah is such a internal thinker about all these things. She really takes her time in each one of her putts. She knows what's going on with the scores. She knows what the pressure is and knows what she needs to do. So I think Sarah should be really proud of herself and how composed she maintained throughout the round, even though it came down to just a couple strokes at one point, but she's fighting her way back. And that's the best way to win a tournament.
Yeah, it's not only the best way, I think it's the most fulfilling. There's something about that experience. And how well said, though, Val. Thank you for that. And really a bit of an insight there into even Sarah and her process. You've had so many close battles with Sarah. The most entertaining was the one back in 2012 where Sarah actually won the World Championship. That was a tight battle that could have gone either way, and it went Sarah's way that year. Sarah able to just chip it up, but no worries for her. Something else to mention, I'm looking, again, I'm on UDisc Live. I'm under the Players tab and looking at the Pro Tour standings. Sarah has not finished out of the top 10 in the Disc Golf Pro Tour, but only has 1 second place, which was back at the MVP Open.
And so that was her highest finish.
It was, yeah. And what a putt there by Haley King. Big, solid. I love, and let it roll. Roll that Zuka replay for Haley. Look at it. Bang. Nice and strong. I do love that putt. If she can figure out some of the other parts of her game, man, we could see a lot of Haley King as we move into the future.
Nice. Great putt there from Rebecca. That's her par. UDisc is calling that 27 feet. So that means Haley was well outside the circle on her putt. Kristen Tatar tapping in for her par. And we know this is going to be a par for Holcomb as well. We are going to go check in with Madison as we see the players walk to 17's tee. And here's Madison.
Take it, Maddie.
Hi. Back out with the FPO lead card at Fox Run. We are heading into the last two holes, and there has been a huge momentum switch. Holcomb was really struggling before we crossed the road right before hole 12, but at that moment she wrote on her hand. She said to the crowd, "Does anybody have a 4-leaf clover?" Nobody responded. She said, "So screw that, I'm going to write one on my hand." And she drew a little 4-leaf clover on her hand, and ever since then it's been smooth sailing. She got that birdie on 14 that she said was not part of the game plan at all. And after Kristen had a couple rollaways on 13 and 14, you could see the disappointment in her eyes. And it's the first time we've really seen some negative emotion from Kristen. Since then, Holcomb seems to be kind of smooth sailing. She's got her head held high. She's walking with her shoulders back, just like a champion does. Let's see what happens. Back to the action.
Thank you so much, Madison. That's what I wanted to hear. She asked for a 4-leaf clover on the 11. And said, you know what? I'm going to draw one. And what a shot there by Haley. But let's not kid ourselves. With all that information, we still have 2 holes here left to play, and 18 is so difficult. So Holcomb's got to just put all that away, take this thing down with confidence. And step 1 of this 6-part series. I think just 6 more throws and Holcomb will be able to take this championship down. Is in the books.
And we are all disc golfers. Of course, you want a little luck to come into your favor, and you hear Sarah joking about a 4-leaf clover or asking Madison for a little good luck charm. But let's not kid ourselves. Sarah, you've got the game, you've got the skill. You don't need to rely on luck. She played it safely inbounds there, and
we just
have
saw,
no idea where Kristen's shot had ended up.
Yeah, it looked like Kristen was begging for it to go a little further. I don't know if she got caught up in the corner or what, but yeah, we just don't know. And there's that disc flying in. Look at this. Nice shot by Rebecca Cox. Throw it to commercial. Catch up with you after this. So we're back. I was throwing my hands up in the booth because we just didn't see where Kristen's disc went. And as I said, she was kind of begging for it to go a little straighter. It hit the tree on the corner. It has kicked out of bounds, and she's now throwing her now third shot instead of her second. And a good shot at that for her, but that's gonna be a bogey if she's able to tap that in. And I think if Holcomb's able to get this down the hill and close to the basket, this could certainly be those strokes that she really needs. a lot of height on it and a bunch of control on it as well. We'll see if Sarah's able to just get that up and in. With that said, of course, we got this battle between Holcomb and Tatar. Now, Cox and King have thrown great drives here on this 17th hole. Rebecca Cox really, really having a wonderful drive. And it looks as if Paige Pierce on just the hole ahead is putting for double bogey. So Rebecca seemingly will be able to finish in third place. That'll be her best finish of the year. We've seen so much of Rebecca really in our live coverage, a lot of times on UDisc. You know, she's shooting these great rounds. Really just not able to get it up and in. But really kind of a great moment here for Rebecca Cox, who, again, looking at her finishes, has had a T3, a solo fourth, a T4. So this solo third will be really good on her yearly stats.
And there's Kristen tapping in for that bogey. And Sarah doesn't need this to go in, but it's going to continue to add to that buffer as we head into hole 18. And there we go.
Yeah.
Sarah Hokom gains another stroke on Kristen. Now 5 strokes, 1 hole to play. What a great position to be in.
Best position ever.
It's all about the drive, though, on hole 18.
Yeah.
So we still got one more pretty tense shot to go. Let's take a look at that hole preview. Here we are, 18, par 4, 655 feet. Got OB line on the right-hand side. The driveway is also out of bounds on the left-hand side. Sarah Hokom needs to throw it out there, trust that disc, and get that drive inbounds. Good drives will land just short of where we are now. It's all about the upshot to the basket. There's out of bounds all around the basket as well, slightly sloping down, and you can see that wall down there. There's out of bounds past the basket. We've seen players go out of bounds on the upshot, but you can really get into trouble off the tee.
Yeah, you're right. And let's just kind of lay everything out for everybody here. Now, if I was a trophy maker, I'd already start putting Sarah's name on the trophy. She has a 5-stroke lead with 1 hole to play. And, you know, Kristen coming off the bogey. If Kristen birdies the hole, Sarah could take a quadruple bogey and would still be tied for the lead. So, you know, that's kind of the scenario here. Tatar has to play it perfect, which is, by the way, this is the most difficult hole for our ladies. And Sarah would have to have a very, very difficult 18th hole. So, again, all about the tee shot, though.
And a little high. Rebecca asking for it to get down. Oh, and it almost checked up, but it is going to be out of bounds there on the left-hand side. Just the body language of Sarah lining up right now.
She's like, yeah, I'm not up. You're up.
Remember that? Remember that
funny.
huge putt?
That is funny right there. That's, wow. I love it. I love it.
And if we're relying on luck, we realize Sarah did not want to risk anything by throwing out of order.
What an interesting play there by Haley. I can't imagine throwing a turnover as a right-handed backhand player, but the cut roll thing brings her back in bounds. So she's safe. And now the shot that we've all been waiting for here, the tee shot for Sarah Hokom, our tournament leader. And she snap hooked at OB. That's going to be out of bounds. There's really no doubt about that. So the nerves are still there, right? So I kind of expected an OB, but that's pretty far back. She's well back. And again, you got to remember, Kristen has to play this perfect. She has to birdie this hole and hope that Hokom takes a quadruple bogey to get into a playoff.
We need confident, safe shot here.
It's got to get down. An OB and two OBs, and I think really that's it. So we'll see what we've got here. We have Championship Sunday. The pressure's high. Let's take a quick break, and we'll catch up with you here for the last few shots.
The Mach 7's a really great disc golf basket, but it also makes a really good step stool. Say you got something up high, you need to reach. Oh, gosh.
And here we see Sarah just getting a visual. She in her mind, she's got to be thinking, all right, how does this look? I just need to get down there to that basket. It's only 450, 500 feet away. And, it's the OB wasn't a surprise to me, Val. But this far back, there's still quite a bit left to go.
And this sign
Yeah.
right in front of her, I think that's probably playing a lot into her mind and this shape of this shot she has to throw.
It's up high, but it's turning really nicely. Should land in bounds, and it does.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Great shot there from Sarah right in the middle.
Boy, I cannot congratulate Sarah enough. This has been a great performance by her on a very, very difficult couple of courses. This is one of the premier events of the Disc Golf Pro Tour, as well as the entire disc golf season. And this is going to be a great moment for Sarah to have this trophy on her mantle.
Gotta thank everybody for watching today's coverage. It's been a fun one. I'm glad there was some tension. I'm glad there was a little bit of excitement. I know all of you watching on the chat boards right now. Who's rooting for Sarah? Gotta give it up. And there's Haley throwing another out of bounds stroke. I know she doesn't want to see that on a scorecard, but Haley put up some exciting shots. She made some great putts there toward the end, but it was a rough one. But she's on the lead card. The experience can only make her a better player moving forward. And got to give it up to this woman right here. She put on a great show all weekend. Kristen Tatar.
It's going to be another OB. Now, the concern really here for me now is that Rebecca Cox is looking really good, even though she went OB as well. if she's able to put this in bounds, she has the opportunity to even finish T2 or second solo. And by the way, I just need to mention that Rebecca Cox played well at the right time. This finish is going to move her into 4th place overall in the Disc Golf Pro Tour standings, regardless of what happens with this shot, which is...
No!
Oh, man. And that's OB, and that's gonna just put her in that solo finish 3rd. But at any rate, she still played well at the right time. She needed to beat Jessica Weiss in this tournament, and that's going to move her into 4th place in the Disc Golf Pro Tour standings. What does that mean to everybody? That puts her into the first round bye that the top 4 players on the ladies' side get. And that's going to put her directly into the semifinals. Again, our Pro Tour finals are happening in Charlotte, North Carolina. And so she's going to be in 4th, so she won't have to play in that first round. Players 5 through 16 will play in that first round with, I believe, the top 4 scorers advancing into the semifinals. Then from the semifinals, the top 2 scorers from each one of the foursomes will advance to the finals, as well as the 2 other top scorers that did not advance by score. And so it's an incredible moment for Rebecca to be able to have that advantage. So we're really looking to the Pro Tour finals, and that's pretty exciting. So congrats to Rebecca on many levels.
And thanks for that breakdown. The Pro Tour finals are fun. It's a match play type of event.
They play by stroke, but it's got this added excitement next to it. Just because you play well, you advance. You don't, it's over for you.
Here we have Sarah Hokum right in the perfect position. Just needs to chip it under the basket, tap it in, and she is the champion. Wants to get this putt as upshot as close as possible and make that putt nice and easy.
And speaking of Sarah, and there's no guarantees that's in. And in fact, I'd almost just pitch that under the basket. And who cares about the score at this point? But speaking of Sarah Hokum did win the Pro Tour finals last year, having a very exciting performance in the finals, playing very, very well. And just as a reminder to everybody listening, the Pro Tour Championship is October 18th through 20th. It's going to be competed at Hornets Nest Park in Charlotte, North Carolina. It comprises the top 32 men and the top 16 women of after the points here. So Rebecca Cox is in, Sarah Hokum is in, and Haley King is in. Now, Kristen Tatar, even if she'd won this event, she still would have not made the finals, as she's only played just 2 Disc Golf Pro Tour events. Now, she's finished very well in both, but she would not be in those finals. And Kristen's trip here in the U.S. will end after the USDGC, which Silver, her traveling companion, partner, is in. But we will see Kristen playing in the Women's Nationals event that's happening in Virginia. So still a lot left to play for Kristen, and she needs to continue to build off of this these really good finishes here these last 3 weeks.
And she has just played so solid, and her game is just so well-rounded. We see she just pumps up a really quick sidearm there, but how strong her sidearm is. Really smooth, pure backhand and putts. She's able to save herself on so many short up shots or capitalize on birdies with big putts. So incredible performance this weekend from Kristen and making it really exciting for us here in the final round. But I'm gonna be rooting for Kristen to take home a title, and she took home the national championships in Canada just
Yeah.
last weekend. She might just have a chance at the U.S. women's. That would be the national championship for the women.
Yeah, two nationals potentially for Kristen.
Quite possibly. She's playing so well.
And that'll be the last major championship for our ladies players here in just a couple weeks' time. And we see Kristen.
This is a funny way to end this round. I mean, you said it's playing as one of the hardest, if not the hardest hole today out there. I mean, even the lead card is making it look pretty difficult. So there you go. Second hardest overall.
Yeah, and that stat has just changed, but after the way this group has played, it is definitely the hardest hole on the course. So the number one most difficult. Now, we are going to have an interview with our champion, Sarah Hokom, here very shortly after the finish of this round. So don't go anywhere. We want to hear what Sarah has to say and really what it took to get to this point.
And Haley is sitting in solid 5th place. Doesn't really matter from there.
She could have taken a +8.
Yeah, and she's got 8 strokes above 6th place, which Katrina Allen is done and finished at. And there we go, Sarah Hokom making it easier on herself, just throwing it right there under the basket. And even after all of that, Kristen Tatar will be taking home 2nd place.
Yeah, and that'll be a solo 2nd for her and a solo 5th place for Haley and a solo 3rd for Rebecca. So I don't think Rebecca is going to get passed by Pierce. I guess I should make sure. But here's the most important thing. There is your champion, Sarah Hokom of the 2019 Green Mountain Championship. And there's your tournament director. Let's listen in.
Sarah Hokom!
And we're going to have Madison just sneak right in and let's get this interview. Let's hear from Madison. Take it away with this year's champion.
How do you feel?
Oh, it feels just amazing. I'm so relieved. Actually, I've been, just trying to grind it out, and it all came together for me this weekend.
Yeah, you had a little bit of a struggle on starting on hole 5 and 6, and then kind of some struggles in the aiming corner as well. How did you rally back from that?
I drew a 4-leaf clover on my hand, and I got a lucky rock from the cameraman. And
that's what did it.
I'm pretty sure that's what did it. I just tried to relax and just be okay with whatever the outcome was.
I know you weren't expecting the birdie on 14, and then 13, Kristen, I know, had an unfortunate rollaway. I felt like kind of a momentum switch in the field there. How did you feel at that point?
Yeah, that was a bonus for me. I don't usually get quite into that green, and then getting the next hole as well. And definitely, I felt like, okay, I'm going to get back in this. So it was definitely feeling like it wasn't in my favor for a while through the middle of the round.
Well, congratulations. I'm psyched to see you win. It's so awesome, and this is such a great venue to have a big win at. So anything else you want to say?
I just want to thank all the fans out there who are watching out here and then at home. And huge thanks to MVP Disc Sports. Finally figured them out.
And she was shredding fairways all weekend long. I'm sure you guys watched. Thanks for tuning into the FPO Live coverage. Even though it's early, we appreciate it. Congratulations, Sarah.
Back to the booth.
And Mad Dog out. Mad Dog out. Let's go back to the booth.
Oh, man. Oh, wow. Thank you, Madison. Thank you, Sarah, for your time there. Head over to that scoring booth. Make it official. Val, you could hear it in Sarah's voice. It was big for her.
Yeah, and I don't know. I'm like feeling a little teary-eyed for Sarah. I know how big that is for her. And, you're on tour weekend after weekend and just grinding it out. And, you step up to the first tee on every tournament and you want to win. Doesn't always end up that way. And Sarah made it through 3 rounds and just playing without a lot of struggles. I mean, she was just playing so well and so smooth and confident. And then it comes down to the pressure round here today, Sunday. And the pressure is what Sarah was feeling. She was reaching and grabbing for anybody with any lucky stone, lucky pin, lucky whatever. But it all came down to Sarah kind of just getting that confidence back. And it was those birdies on hole 14 and 15 that kind of cemented it back in stone and kind of just, here's that little boost. This is what you need to finish. You're almost there. And again, I'm just getting goosebumps thinking about it because she worked so hard for this win this weekend and absolutely 100% deserved every bit of it. And we know she's going to go out there and enjoy this championship win tonight. And congratulations to Sarah. Job well done.
Yeah, certainly. Fill that trophy with some Fiddlehead IPA. Head over to the Fall Fest and grab one of them kegs. But yeah, big congratulations to Sarah Hokom and to all of her supporters and sponsors. That was just a great moment. And it really goes to show you what it takes to win a 4-round tournament on 2 courses, 2 championship level courses. So big congrats to Sarah Hokom. So that's the FPO in the books. That was a lot of fun. Now we got turned to the men's side now. So we got Paul Macbeth. He's in the lead. It's a big lead, by the way. So he's certainly got, I think we're going to pull that up. There it is. That's the 8-stroke lead over Simon and Dickerson. And we have LeCastro. Now you might be saying at home, boy, there's no way Macbeth's going to give up an 8-stroke lead, but you don't know anything until it all happens.
We saw what happened today's round.
Exactly. And not only that, there's quite a bit to play for when it comes to the Disc Golf Pro Tours. That name, Nico LeCastro, he's not even in the Pro Tour finals yet. So he's got a lot to play for. That's 2:30 Eastern, 11:30 out here on the West Coast. You should be joining us. It's Sunday. It's Championship Sunday. It's the last day of the Pro Tour. Check us out in between some of those football games, and we're looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun. So see you guys all in a little bit. For Johnny V, for Mad Dog out at the course, for Sarah Hokom, congratulations, and let that Zuka replay roll.